Before the video starts, check out my official Discord with the links in the description down below or on the screen right here for mobile users. We are a fast growing community with over 140 members and growing fast with active people within. If you want to join and speak to new people about the anime we all love, or speak to me personally and get custom perks and more, then check out the Major Dragon Discord and join our growing community within the Dragon Force. Now let's get on with the video. The Hyperbolic Time Chamber. One of the best ways to get the Super Saiyan games. Now, some of you guys who don't know what the Hyperbolic Time Chamber is, if you've never seen Dragon Ball, it's referred to as the Room of Spirit and Time. It's a mysterious dimension that exists outside of Universe 7, but can be accessed from Universe via different doorways. Each chamber has a time-compressed nature, making the flow of time vastly different compared to the flow of time outside the chamber. In more of a simple way, when using the entryway to the Hyperbolic Time Chamber through the lookout, which is on Earth, 1 year inside the chamber is the equivalent to 1 day on the outside. A step over the threshold of training area brings one immediately into 10 times Earth's gravity. Plus, the air thickness is about a quarter of Earth's, and the temperature fluctuates the deeper one goes in the training area, from extreme heat to extreme cold. Now, there have been different variants of the Hyperbolic Time Chamber in other locations, and they have different conditions, as the Galactic Patrol entryway allows a person to spend 3 days worth inside the chamber over the span of 1 day. Frieza has access to a variant of the chamber that allowed him to spend 10 years worth of training inside, and even Whis can create a dimensional space within his staff for similar training purposes, and even the Demon Realm race can summon a mock Hyperbolic Time Chamber by using enough power to gather and sustain the chamber as well. And of course, the original one on planet Earth. The original one on planet Earth, 1 day on the outside equals to 365 days inside of the Room of Spirit and Time, equals to 1 year. So 24 hours on the outside equals to 1 year on the inside. Adding on the 10 times gravity, the harsh conditions, users who have used this, such as Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, and many more, they have grown massively in power because of this. Now, there is limits to the time chambers. Now, the one that we know of for Earth's is you can only stay in there for 2 years maximum. If you stay in there too long, then the door will close and you will be no longer able to escape the time chamber, and people on the outside cannot open the door. Now, we don't know exactly how Popo was able to make the Room of Spirit in Time. Now, we know that Whis is powerful enough to where he can easily create a Hyperbolic Time Chamber version of it between dimensions easily. The only way to kind of speculate is this is just tears within different parts of the Universe 7 into the middle, as this is basically in between universes. So, Room of Spirit and Time was probably a door found by Popo, and they just built the lookout around it, as it is a tear basically between dimensions. So that's the only way to kind of assume how this would work, as it's not something that someone can just make. Only angel level beings can do this, from what we've seen. Now, we have seen some other things as well, such as when Gogeta and Broly, they are strong enough to where when they did clash, they did break into through dimensions. We've even seen beings such as Janemba, though it is not a canon show, it's a part of the movie, but Janemba was able to use dimensional portals, and he was so powerful that he was able to tear through the dimensions of Hell, Heaven, and Earth, blending them all together. And beings like Goku Black, with enough rage, was actually able to cut through different dimensions. So it is possible, if you are strong enough, to be able to tear through dimensions with certain repercussions. We even saw beings like Gotenks and Super Buu scream loud enough with enough strength that they were able to rip a hole back through the dimension back to Earth. So if you are powerful enough, you are able to tear through dimensional rifts and head back to different places. Now, what if Goku had this ability? What if Goku was able to go through different dimensions? This means that Goku can travel practically anywhere that he wishes. Anywhere. As there's a bunch of dimensions and realms and planes of existence that they all connect together. The Demon Realm, the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, the Otherworld, and even other universes. As it would make sense if he can basically cut through dimensions and go through different universes, he can also do this as well. Now, this is an insanely busted ability. How would this work in Dragon Ball? Well, I believe as Goku becomes more powerful, he'll be able to use these abilities to a better understanding. But the best way is Goku will mainly use this ability to make his own version of the Room of Spirit and Time. He's able to make it his own way, and he's able to change things how he wants to, since he can basically make dimensions. So he can change the gravity, he can change the weather, he can do whatever he wants in reality. He can do whatever he wishes. Well, the only way that this would even be remotely possible is when Goku has begun his training under Popo, and he steps in the Room of Spirit and Time. Before we jump in there, for some people that have not seen Dragon Ball at all, I'm just going to briefly go down the story of Dragon Ball just so you guys are caught up. So for some people who basically have seen Dragon Ball and know all about it, you can just skip. For some people who have not, stay. So Bulma was on her summer vacation searching for the Dragon Balls. Now before this happened, Bardock still sacrificed himself against Frieza, saving Goku's life. Frieza was a tyrant of the universe, and he still destroyed planet Vegeta, destroying all the Saiyans. Goku's one of the last Saiyans remaining, a handful left, alongside Vegeta, Raditz, Nappa, and Broly. Goku would have still landed on Earth. He still would have hit his head after beating Grandpa Gohan. This would change his Saiyan nature, making him more gentle and kind-hearted. Now, sadly, Grandpa Gohan would die because Goku would transform into a Great Ape, just like the original, killing Grandpa Gohan sadly, and Goku would begin raising on his own. Now, once when Goku was around 12 years old, Bulma was on her summer vacation searching for the Dragon Balls. She meets Goku and discovers the sphere that he owns is actually the 4-star Dragon Ball. The Dragon Balls are magical witching orbs, and when you gather all 7, and you summon Shenron, a mythical magical dragon that can grant any wish you desire. Now, Goku and Bulma would still meet Master Roshi, giving them Nimbus, and as a reward for bringing the turtle back, and also giving them the 3-star Dragon Ball. Goku would have still defeated the Reign of the Terrible Oolong, they would have still met Yamcha Puar, and Master Roshi would have still used his Kamehameha to butt the Frying Pan Mountain. And Goku would have still defeated the Boss Rabbit Gang, and then Goku, meaning his new friend Krillin, would have became Master Roshi's student after finding Launch. And originally also found a mermaid too, but that's besides the point. Roshi would also move his house into a larger island, and they'll begin to spend the next 7 months training. Training hard, learning how to eat well, sleep well, train well, and rest well. And now, we would then have the Red Ribbon Army as they begin the search for the Dragon Balls. Now, a few months later, Goku, Krillin, and Master Roshi leave Kami House to participate in the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, where the greatest fighters in the world participate to see who is the strongest. Now, while it takes place, Master Roshi goes under an alias called Jackie Chun, and he would win. In a very close match, but he would win the battle, and Goku would take second place. Now, the money does not matter, even though Roshi won over 100 million Zenny, or even if it's less than that. Goku would have eaten all the funds away, and Roshi didn't really win anything. Now, this is when the Red Ribbon Army saga would happen. The Red Ribbon Army is an evil army, of course, that is trying to find the Dragon Balls to become all-powerful. So, communism. Goku and the Red Ribbon Army search for the Dragon Balls, and the Red Ribbon Army obtain the 6-star and the 5-star Dragon Balls. After deleting Colonial Silver, Goku ends up in Jingle Village, and then he takes down the White Corp in Muscle Tower. Now, of course, this is when Goku would confront General Brew, and then the fight would land in Penguin Village. Ariel beats Blue by herself, Mercenary Tao kills General Blue, and then beats Goku at the base of Korn's tower, and Goku begins climbing the tower to meet the mystical cat himself, Korin. Now on top of Korn's tower, he begins his training to take the sacred water from Korn, and after 3 days, Goku finally attains the sacred water. It was actually just tap water. Goku defeats Mercenary Tao and single-handedly destroys the entire Red Ribbon Army. In Fortune Teller Baba's battle arena, Goku is reunited with his dead grandfather. Now, during the next 3 years, Goku will begin his training to run around the world, and in the Chao Village he fights Plague and Terror. Now, Goku also meets Master Chin and fights Sky Dragon in the Master of Martial Arts contest. Goku enters the Demon World the first time and fights Shula. Goku saves Ino Shikacho and meets Tien Shenhan for the first time as well. Now, of course, it has been over 3 years. Goku, now 16 years old, would then swim to Papa Island, where the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament shall take place. Now, Krillin is killed by Tambourine as Tien Shenhan didn't win the match. Goku comes in second place. Krillin was sadly killed by Tambourine, and the Demon King Piccolo appears. Goku would actually meet Yajirobe, and after killing Tambourine, Goku crosses paths with Piccolo. Piccolo easily defeated Goku. Master Roshi and Chatsu are actually killed by King Piccolo, who he then uses the Dragon Balls to restore his youth. He would then attack the King's castle and take over Earth. And Yajirobe would save Goku's life by taking him to Korn's tower. Goku would actually drink the real sacred water, gaining a massive power buff. He would then kill King Piccolo. Now, Piccolo, before he dies, gives birth to his reincarnation, Piccolo Jr. Goku then reaches the Lookout and trains there for the next 3 years with Mr. Popo and Kami. Ah, big breath. Well, This is where we're going to stop it right here. Well, now that you're all caught up with it, now I can stop rambling on about the whole Dragon Ball saga. I know some people didn't want to hear it, but for people that haven't watched, I'm looking out for all the fans, not just a single person. Well, this is where the what if shall be taking place. When Goku originally was training Mr. Popo and Kami, he learned a lot, how to control energy and more. The main things was he went inside the room of spirit and time. When he went inside of there, he only lasted about a month, as the conditions were too harsh for Goku, and plus with the gravity, he couldn't handle it. But what if the story changes? As we know, we don't really know that much about the Room of Spirit and Time. We don't know much about the splitting in between dimensions. There could be other beings or power that Goku has no clue about. It's the unknown. Well, while Goku was in there for that 1 month, he went too deep inside the Room of Spirit and Time and got himself lost, as he didn't know where to go. Since the Room of Spirit and Time stretches almost infinitely, you will be lost forever. Goku was now trapped as he didn't know where to go. He just continues moving. Well, he would then see, as not to mention too, the gravity is also killing him as well, because it's 10 times gravity. Now, he can barely crawl, but soon as the day would pass, he would start to get more used to it. He is getting hungry, though. Luckily, he did bring some food with him in the bag that he has, so luckily, he's not going to starve to death. But while Goku would soon run out of food over the next day or two, the gravity is getting easier for him, as he can walk, but still, he's going to die. Goku would then collapse out of exhaustion, as he just can't carry on no more. Saiyans need to eat a lot of food, and he can't do it no more. As he thinks he's gonna die, maybe Popo was right, he wasn't ready for it. Goku would then go unconscious. As then, a power would then fuse with Goku. It's almost if the power of the Room of Spirit and Time mixes with Goku's power. As Goku doesn't know where it comes from, no one in this what if shall know. But we don't know. That's what makes it so special and unique, is his power comes from somebody, something, or just coincidence. Plot armor. We don't know. Goku would then awaken as he was almost passed out, but he's still beyond hungry. He will die soon. He just went unconscious initially. Goku does have a few crumbs in his bag, but it doesn't matter, as Goku then looks down at his hands, and he was confused. He then imagines something. Oh, he imagines it right now. Hot, steaming rice. Fried rice with giant dinosaur meat or giant fish over fire. He was drooling, imagining this. All the while, his hands would begin glowing a white mystical power dimensions. The entire Room of Spirit and Time would begin warping all around him. Everything turns like he just lost his balance or has vertigo. It would then immediately straighten itself out. As Goku then looks in front of himself, he sees it. He sees a massive fish cooked, ready for him. Goku has no clue what it is. Maybe he's gone crazy, but he runs right over to it and he devours this fish. As now he's full again, Goku doesn't know what he did, but then Goku would begin doing other things. As this is his realm now, he can do whatever he wants. He's almost like Steve in creative mode. Do whatever he wishes. He would then begin to imagine something else, such as a way to get back. As then immediately, Goku would then teleport right in front of the Room of Spirit and Time. He had a double look. Has he gone crazy or something? He then touches the Room of Spirit and Time. It is real. He doesn't know what's happening. And Goku, by this point, was forcefully used to the gravity a bit more, and he then realizes over the next days to weeks, as he stayed in there for about a month, that he can change this room. Maybe it's something that Popo didn't tell him about. Maybe this is even better. Now he can actually do things and actually get stronger. Well, first things first, Goku would lessen the gravity. He imagines it, and he does feel the weight being lifted off him. He did get more used to the 10 times gravity initially, but it was a lot on him initially. So now he dropped it from 10 times gravity to about 5. It's still a lot, but he begins training them. And he can also change the weather so it doesn't damage him as badly with the heat and the cold. But Goku continues training. This means that Goku will also last longer in the Room of Spirit and Time, lasting the full year. Now, we don't know the actual power scaling in terms of the multiplier for how strong Goku would get. The only way that you could maybe look at it is over the next few weeks, Goku then jumps to 10 times gravity as he got used to it, so now he's getting stronger and stronger. Well, the one way is if you see that Goku trained and basically 10 times gravity didn't really affect him no more, as when he trained on King Kai's world for those few months, Goku got around 18.8 times stronger. Well, if that was the case, Goku stays in there for a full year this time, and he's increasing the gravity too. He does 10 times gravity for a few weeks, and he goes to 15, then 20, then 30, then he's getting stronger and stronger. Well, Goku got around 18.8 times stronger in the original when he trained for 2 to 3 months on King Kai's world. Well, if that was the case, then we would have Goku have a full year of training, and he would get much more powerful. Now, you can high ball, low ball as much as you want. I'm going to say that Goku gets around 50 times stronger, which is a lot more powerful than originally, but he has a full year this time, and he's increasing the gravity even more. So Goku had a battle power of 260 times 50. His new power level is 13,000, which is ridiculous. He's already stronger than even Nappa in them. Not Vegeta, but Nappa. Well, when Goku steps out of the Room of Spirit and Time, Popo is completely bamboozled with how strong Goku was. And Goku would explain what he found out to Kami and Popo. Popo and Kami were shocked. They didn't think this was possible. And they asked him, can he do any of this stuff outside of this realm? Now, Goku would try, but nothing really happens. And Kami thinks, it appears that within that realm, you can, but on the outside in this realm, which is not a part of that dimension, you cannot. That makes sense. And Kami says, well, can you maybe open up a door to that room again? He wonders because he wonders if Goku can go in and out freely if he needs to. And Goku would try. Goku would imagine going back in the Room of Spirit and Time, holding his hands out, and then his hands would then glow white, and then a rip right in the middle would then rip open a dimension, and then an open spot would then appear, and Goku can walk right through. And it does show the Room of Spirit and Time. This was incredible. Goku has the ability to do this. This is incredible. Now, this doesn't mean, though, that maybe they think, well, you got to be careful, Goku, because maybe it's tied to the room. So if you stay in there for too long and that rift closes as well in the Room of Spirit and Time, the original door, maybe that one closes too. It's a lot of they don't knows. So they wouldn't know about, could this happen? Could this happen? This is a whole new territory that Kami's not even used to. Well, Goku would still continue his training as he did stay for the full year. Now, the same events would happen to where Goku would still show up and he would still battle Piccolo Jr. He would still meet his best friends, and of course his version of Goku so much stronger. And even if this was near the end of his training, it still shows you just how strong Goku is. In reality, we're not going to really increase his power level that much because it doesn't make a lot of... He's already strong enough anyways. Having 13,000 by the time he's 19, 20 years old is ridiculous. Now, we are going to have Goku show up, meet his friends. The same events would happen with Goku meeting up with his allies, and they were all happy to see him. Now, Goku, just like the original story, he still met Chi-Chi, so that goes the exact same. And now with Goku then fighting Piccolo Jr., he blisters through him with zero issue. Even if Goku dropped his guard, and he was badly wounded hitting his arm, Goku still had more than enough strength to defeat him. Even half his strength would be 6,000-7,000. So he would knock him out easily, but sparing his life because he knows that if Piccolo dies, then Kami dies as well. Now, Goku would then enjoy the next 5 years of peace. Goku can now access these dimensions whenever he wishes. As Goku, again, he would continue exploring this power. Where else could he go? Could he just go to the Room of Spirit and Time? Could he go somewhere else? Now, Goku did open up a portal through a dimension. And this dimension was a bit hot, a little red, and a bit gloomy and deathly. It was the Demon Realm. Goku actually remembers being in here before, but man, this is cool. But now Goku's not going to dive too far into the Demon Realm, as Chi-Chi would not like that. She even tells Goku, even though you can make these weird portals and go somewhere, I don't want you doing it. And of course, Goku would just sneak off. Since the Room of Spirit and Time works differently, Goku can train for, even if it's for an hour, and 1 hour counts as 15 days. If he trains for an hour, he can train for 15 days in the Room of Spirit and Time, and he's fine. So Goku would probably do that during the years, so he does keep his training up. So Goku does not get any weaker, but he does actually get a little bit stronger. Now this also means that Piccolo Jr. would also be more powerful as well, because again, he does have more motivation because of how strong Goku is. Now Goku will still take Gohan to go see his friends, Bulma, Krillin, Master Roshi, and the others. Now Raditz would still arrive like the original, and he would then fight Goku. Now Goku would still lose his tail initially against Kami because Goku still turned into a Great Ape, and Kami had to restore the moon, so it would make sense that his tail would be removed. It doesn't make any sense for him to keep it. Well, Raditz would be furious with Goku and explain to him why has he not take over the planet. Of course, Goku's not going to take over the planet. This is his home. Raditz is not like that. But now when Raditz does try to basically take Gohan after he hit Krillin, Goku would stop him with a single punch to his chest, knocking him back into the water. Raditz would then get up, absolutely shocked with Goku, as this is just how? He's flabbergasted. Raditz would then tap his scouter as Goku would begin to power up. As Goku's power level rises, 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, 12,000, 13,000, 14,000. And then the scouter stopped. And then Raditz was just blown away, and Vegeta and Nappa were hearing this. Now, Frieza did not hear about the Dragon Balls initially, so there's no reason for him to head towards Namek just yet. Now, we would then have Raditz be absolutely dominated by Goku. No chance. Raditz is terrified. He can't beat Goku. He has a power of 1,200. How can he beat that? Goku's over 10 times stronger than he is. Now, Goku, again, he would not give any chances with Raditz, but he will give Raditz a chance to get out of here. And Raditz doesn't have a choice. Raditz would then flee back to Vegeta and Nappa. Now, Raditz thinks that he can sweet talk Vegeta and Nappa because of the fact of how strong he said that they were. One downside, though, is when he does meet up with Vegeta and Nappa and he does throw his chance, Vegeta says, if that scouter is true, then I need to go see that Saiyan myself. And one other thing. Remember what I promised you if you came back empty-handed? He would then kill Raditz, as it would make no sense for Vegeta not to stay true to his character. Raditz thought that Vegeta forgot about what he said, and Raditz had a legitimate reason for why he couldn't do it. But Vegeta doesn't care. He would still kill Raditz just because he can, because he's a Vegeta. He's a stubborn asshole. He'll do whatever he wants. Now, Nappa doesn't really believe it, as it is a little bit of worry if that is true in his own head, but he tells Vegeta there is no way that a low-class Saiyan on Earth has a power level of 14,000. That makes no sense. Vegeta's like, I do agree, but maybe we'll just go check it out anyway. You have any details on Earth, Nappa? And Nappa would then look and say, yes, sir, I do. Prince Vegeta here, Earth is very rich in resources. It's a very beautiful planet. And it has tons of materials. Vegeta says, well, it is very far from Frieza's territory, but it'll serve well for Frieza. Maybe he'll throw us a bone and we can get out of here. And he says, fine by me. So they would begin heading their way. Now, Raditz would have still warned Goku and the others about the impending doom of the two Saiyans arriving in about a year's time, like he did in the original. If that is the case, Piccolo would then arrive and talk to Goku about how they need to get stronger. And Goku knows one way to get stronger, he can make a room of spirit in time. Now, reminder, he doesn't know that he can stay in there longer than 2 years. He also doesn't know some of the rules because, again, Kami warned Goku about it. Now, Goku's not one to listen, but he'll listen to the basics of it initially. So, he has an idea. Well, they'll just go to the Room of Spirit in Time, and they'll just start their training. As remember, when Goku goes in there, he can just summon whenever he wishes, food or more. So, he would then also offer his friends to come inside as well. Now, Popo does not like this, but Goku says, no, it's fine. I can just make resources. And I can make more beds for everybody. Goku can actually make the room even bigger if he wishes to. He can actually make the building even larger to hold more beds. So they would all agree. So it would be Goku, Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu. They would all jump into the Room of Spirit and Time, and with Goku using his powers, they can stay in there for 2 years, which equals to 2 days. This makes them beyond prepared. Now, how strong would they all be? Well, we're going to jump down some of this. Now, originally when I said that Goku got around 50 times stronger, if this is the case, if Goku got 50 times stronger, long story short, this means that Goku get 100 times stronger. It also makes sense because he can increase the gravity, and he also has 5 to 6 more training partners he could fight with. So this means that he has way more potential to become stronger. No, he does not have Super Saiyan, just getting that one out of the way. So if that is the case, if he has a power level of 14,000 times 100 equals to 1.4 million, which is not crazy far off if you think about it, because again, within the next year and a couple of weeks, he went from having a power level of 8,000 to 3 million, and then 150 million because Super Saiyan, so it's not crazy far off. Now, what about the other Z Fighters? If those Z Fighters got 100 times stronger, well, we know that Krillin was stronger than Roshi. Roshi was around 139. Krillin was around 200. I believe it was around 206. And if that was the case, if he was around 206, that would mean that even Krillin had a power level of 20,600. Yamcha's in the similar realm. He's probably around 140, 150. And if that was the case, then his power level would be 15,000. People like Tien is stronger, so I would easily put Tien easily in the high 200s, in my opinion, probably even the 300s if you want to be nice. So even if he had a power level of around 300, that would put his power level at around 30,000. Now Gohan had a very small power level, but within that 1 year, he was able to go from basically power level of 2 to a power level of 1,300 to 1,500, not minusing out when he gets angry. And if that is the case, then Gohan, because Gohan's potential is insane, with gravity training, I'm going to put Gohan's power level at around 12,000. So he's still a bit weaker than the other guys, such as Yamcha and the others, but again, he's still a child, so he's still growing into his potential. And they also had to spend that 1 year really training Gohan to become a warrior. The second year was really him cementing himself as a warrior. Now, whoa. What about Piccolo? Well, Piccolo has a power level of around 406, so his power level would be 10,000 higher than Tien. He would basically have a power level of around 40,000. Now that we're all sworn and done with that, they are hyper prepared for the Saiyans, and they only train for 2 days on the outside. They still have a little bit less of a year to continue their training. Now, Goku would then spend the next few weeks relaxing with Gohan, as he doesn't want to overtrain. Now, he would then spar with Gohan so they don't get rusty and, of course, do their thing. While Gohan still does his studies, Goku and Piccolo would also work together in helping Gohan learn how to survive, and Gohan would even be better at surviving than before. Also, Gohan is a bit more of a warrior here because he has his father around and Piccolo, so Chi-Chi's influence is not as high on Gohan as it originally was. And if that is the case, then Gohan is a menace. Well, even if everybody's power level was the same, which definitely it would not, it doesn't matter anyway, they're all ridiculous. But we're just going to say that they train for the next year. Piccolo goes from 40,000 to 50,000. Goku practically stays the same. He goes from 1.4 to, let's just say, 1.5. He gets 100k more because he's more or less training Gohan and helping Piccolo get stronger. Now, as for the Earthlings, Yamcha was roughly at around 15,000. Let's just say he bumps from 15k to around 17,000. Tien will bump up around 30,000 to around 33 to 34,000. And Krillin will bump up around 20,000 and 600 to, I would say, around 22 to 23,000. So they did get a little bit stronger as well. And some people ask, wouldn't Goku just go back in the Room of Spirit and Time multiple times throughout the year since he could? I don't think so. And the reason why is because they spent 2 years training. And that does take a lot of your mental fortitude. Goku would explain to the others that now we are more prepared than ever. So that's the reason why Goku doesn't want to overuse it, because mentally they'll just overtrain themselves. They've reached their limit for the time being, but they'll break it sooner or later. They're more than prepared to fight the Saiyans. Well, and as for Gohan, his power level was roughly around 12,000 or so, 14,000. We're going to buff him up because he's been training more for over a year. Gohan's potential is insane. He'll basically be around 14 to 15,000, so he's 1,000 weaker than Yamcha. Now then, carrying on, Once when the Saiyans do arrive, Goku was there, they would then quickly realize that they are in some deep trouble. Even Yamcha can put up a pretty decent battle against Vegeta, for goodness sake. Krillin can kill Vegeta if he wants to. Well, Nappa would still basically plant a lot of Cybermen, and the battles would go a bit differently. The Z Fighters, aka Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, and oh, by the way, for Chaozu as well, Chaozu, we don't know how strong he is. He's roughly on 100 something. He is weaker than Roshi, but if that was even the case, his power level would be over 8,000. If you want to put his power level at around 80, it'll be over 8,000. Even 50 if you want to lowball it. That is insane. He'll be over 5,000 and have another year to train, so he's probably around 6,000. So he can literally fight and kill Nappa with a Dodon Ray spam like Sparking Zero if you want to. Well, Nappa's in for a rough time, as Yamcha says, we'll handle the Cybermen, guys, and yes, the Cybermen will still jump on him and do the self-explosion. But this time around, Yamcha doesn't die. Nappa was shocked to see that Yamcha was practically fine. True, his outfit was a bit damaged, his top G was destroyed, but Yamcha was fine. He didn't really have any battle damage on him, just some marks. And Yamcha was relieved and glad all that training paid off. And Krillin with a simple blast would just destroy all the Cybermen, and Nappa would get furious and he would try fighting Tien. But before Tien could even do anything, Piccolo would have appeared out of nowhere and punched a hole right through Nappa's chest, killing him in one shot, which is ridiculous. And Nappa would then roll over and die. Vegeta was shocked as then Piccolo would then begin charging up his power, and it would then explode. But I think what we would see here is Goku and them, they all had their fun. Goku wants to fight Vegeta, and Piccolo would respect Goku and let him do his thing. So him and Vegeta would then fly away to a rocky wasteland, away from all animal and life. When they do begin their matchup, we would then see one of the most humiliating battles for Vegeta. The fact is that Goku is so powerful that it's literally ridiculous. Goku's power level is over 1.5 million. Vegeta's only 18,000. Even if he turns into a great ape, Goku is over 10 times stronger than that, which is ridiculous. So Goku would literally slap around Vegeta like he's a toy, not even a big deal. Vegeta has no chance of beating him. Now, Vegeta, out of his own fury, he would then turn into a great ape, as Goku does not have a tail. Now, Gohan did have his tail, but he would look away, as of course they don't want a great ape attacking. That already did happen, by the way. But remember, they just said for Gohan just to look away. Gohan doesn't really know why, since they don't know, because remember the fake moon, Vegeta and great ape, they don't want Gohan to do the same thing, since Gohan's actually pretty strong. Gohan, power level around 15,000. Yeah, in terms of a great ape, he's powerful. Well, Vegeta as a great ape would try hitting Goku, but Goku just dodges every attack. A great ape is very lumbering. And then we would have another problem, though. Gohan would just glance at it, just for a split second, as he didn't know what they meant by not looking at it, while they were all looking at it as well. He's a kid. I mean, come on, he's like 6, 7 years old. Gohan would then begin to transform. As the Z Fighters all jump back and out of the way, Gohan begins to change. Vegeta was shocked to see this, as Gohan would immediately go after Vegeta, as he's the biggest target. Gohan's power level was around 15,000. He would actually be able to kind of hit Vegeta pretty well and keep up with him, but Vegeta is more superior. He's faster, he's stronger, and he knows how to control the Great Ape state. So he does beat the heck out of Gohan pretty badly. Now, Goku doesn't want to hurt his son, so what Goku would do is he would then cut off both Vegeta and Gohan's tails. He would then form his own Ki Enzyme attack. Well, I know we saw Krillin fire it, but come on now, Goku just fire his own Ki Ball attack. Or you can even have Goku tell Krillin to cut off Gohan's tail and he'll hand it Vegeta's. So Goku would then cut off Vegeta's tail, and speed Vegeta's not ready for. Gohan's tail was cut off, they both revert back, and Vegeta was too badly wounded to do anything. Now, also, another thing I want to point out is Kami would have never promoted King Kai, because he does know about him and he could take Goku there. But it wouldn't make a lot of sense, because Kami knows that Goku can just train them in spirit in time for 2 years. And he sensed how strong they were when they step out, that they're more than powerful enough to defeat these Saiyans. It has to be. But either way, though, Goku would then continue on his way, and Vegeta was defeated. Now, the Earthlings were down to kill Vegeta, but Goku would spare it and says, no, let him go. We're going to show him what mercy means. And he didn't technically kill anybody on Earth. Technically. Nappa did, though, but not Vegeta. Vegeta would then tell him that you are fools to spare me. And he would then fly off. Now, Vegeta would head to Planet Frieza 79, where he would recover. Now, Frieza never headed to Planet Namek. The reason why is because they never mentioned up the Dragon Ball, so why would he want to go there? So Frieza has no interest. Now, he does find out, though, that Vegeta did lose, and Vegeta kind of keeps quiet. Even in his Great Ape state? That's quite interesting. A Great Ape is tenfold of their power. Vegeta's battle power I last checked was 18,000. If that's the case, 180,000 battle power. Even stronger than even Captain Ginyu himself. And somebody beat him with a swift strike? Now, Frieza's not a fool. He could just go to Earth and see what's going on, but he's not really going to. He's just fun interest. He does want to hear what happened, though, from Vegeta, why he failed him, though. So Vegeta explains what happened. He explains that there's a Saiyan there by the name of Kakarot, and he's a Super Saiyan. As remember, Vegeta thought Goku was a Super Saiyan with a battle power of 90,000, and he was kind of trolling Jason Burr with one-shot Raccoon. Goku is way more powerful than that, so Vegeta has a good assumption to say that why he's a Super Saiyan. Frieza does find this interesting, and he is fearful of the Super Saiyan, but maybe he'll head to Earth just to take care of it himself. Earth does seem like a good planet for resources, so his ship would begin heading there. Now, Vegeta would take the space pod, which is faster, and he would arrive on Earth within the next week. Now, Frieza's ship is fast as well, so it will catch up. Frieza's making a stop, though, so they have about another week before anything happens. Vegeta would then ask Kakarot for help, as Frieza is coming here within a week, and he's going to kill us all. And he's going to ask him, how did you become a Super Saiyan? Goku doesn't even know what the heck that even is. And so they have a week. Well, if that's the case, then Goku and Vegeta would then go into his own room of spirit and time between dimensions. Vegeta was shocked that a Super Saiyan could do this. Remember, he doesn't know Goku has Super Saiyan. And how this was possible, they would begin their training. Goku would increase the gravity with Vegeta, and him and Vegeta would begin their training. And with the two of them in there pushing each other as hard as they did, Goku would definitely unlock Super Saiyan for sure. As he's 2 years older, his SL count is ridiculously high. Vegeta not quite yet, as he still needs to get stronger. And it's harder for him to turn Super Saiyan because he's not pure of heart, which is easier for SLs to manifest. As for Goku, he had more because of his pure nature. So inside the Room of Spirit and Time, Vegeta again would start to catch up to Goku, since Vegeta is a natural prodigy and Goku knows how to train. Vegeta was able to catch up to Goku within a few months, and he was a Super Saiyan God level, and Vegeta was not, which is ridiculous. So this goes to show you that Vegeta would be able to catch up to Goku, and I think he's still a little bit weaker. Goku, by this point, if they did train the Spirit in Time for another year or two, for about another 2 days, Goku doesn't want to stay in there for too long because it's too much strain on one's body. When him and Vegeta do step out, Goku's noticeably stronger. Now, I know the power levels past this point are redundant, but we're not done with the Frieza saga yet. Goku's power level would, at bare minimum, be roughly around 50 million. Since he's around 1.4, Goku can get around 50 times stronger. He's training with Vegeta. As for Vegeta, Vegeta's power level is, I would honestly say, around 10 to 12 million. He did get way stronger, but Goku's still way further ahead than he was, so Vegeta had more time to kind of catch up. And they also don't really have Sensu Beans. Or do they? Goku could always just imagine Sensu Beans if he wanted, and Sensu Beans do appear since it is his own dimension. So he can do that if he wants to. He's kind of in creative mode. Well, when that was the case, though, Goku did unlock Super Saiyan, and he did just get the grasp of learning how to turn in and out of Super Saiyan on his own. But it's still very difficult. Now, Vegeta really wants to unlock Super Saiyan, but no matter how much they tried, he just couldn't do it, though. Kakarot was able to do it because of his angry and calm nature, as he was awakened, but Vegeta just can't. He's just all grumpiness. But Vegeta will demand Kakarot to teach him how to do it once when Frieza shows up. So they would then spend the next few days. Vegeta would also get to know Bulma since he has nowhere else to go, so him and Bulma would start getting together. Frieza would then show up like the original, but this timeline he's on Earth. And he's not looking for any Dragon Balls since he doesn't know they exist. He wants to meet this quote-unquote Super Saiyan himself. He would then see Vegeta there, and the Ginyu Force would be there as well. Now, again, the Z fighters, such as Piccolo and, of course, Tien, they're a lot more powerful as well. And now, mind you, Goku can just open up a portal and let them go in the Room of Spirit and Time if he wants to, and just open it back up. They have gotten pretty decently strong. Now, I don't think that Vegeta would waste any time. I think that Piccolo and Tien would team up fighting Jason Birder, as Krillin and Yamcha would easily defeat Gulda with ease. And Raccoon, as Piccolo would probably fight Jace, and Tien would probably fight Herder. They would then do their thing. Captain Ginyu was the biggest threat. Vegeta would fight him, and he would try to use the Change Now technique, but Vegeta's too fast. He would have dodged it and did a big bang attack, completely obliterated Ginyu. Now, Frieza does not like that, so Frieza would then challenge Goku outright. Frieza knows that even in his base form, aka his first form, power level 500,000 or 30,000 is not enough. So Frieza would cut right to his final form, going to his final form. Now in his final form, and I've said that 3 times, he is now much more powerful. And Vegeta wants to fight him first, and Vegeta actually handles very well. But Frieza's holding back, only using 1% of his power. Using 50%, he outclasses Vegeta easily. Now this is when Goku would then step in, having a battle power of over 50 million. He has now been much more powerful. He would then continue battling Frieza, and Frieza again would then use 80% of his power, overpowering Goku initially. Now when Frieza does fire a final attack, Goku would then stop it barely enough, as it made a big explosion. Now his top G was then torn off for plot reasons, and he would then smirk as he would then begin to power up, as he feels the rage bubbling within him. That's what he needs. He needs to kind of get battle hardened, aka get some battle damage in him so he can go Super Saiyan, because the pain and rage makes it easier to transform than just being calm and normal. Well, Goku would then transform as Vegeta would then smirk, laughing at Frieza, telling him that you're dead now. Kakarot's a Super Saiyan and you can see it now. You're dead. Vegeta's already fought the Super Saiyan before. Goku's unbeatable in this state. There's nothing that can stop him. So, if that is the case, though, Goku has a battle power of around 50 million. If he times that by 50, that'll be 2.5 billion. Meaning that Frieza's dead. So when Frieza does try to fire death beams, doesn't even affect Goku. Frieza would try to blow up planet Earth by firing basically his death ball, but Goku would block the attack. He would still want Frieza to go to 100% out of respect. Frieza would do so, and Goku was not impressed. He thought Frieza was going to be stronger than that. Well, Frieza would try fighting Goku. Goku would drag on the fight a pretty decent amount, as he just wants to see all that Frieza can do. He wants to see Frieza's pride broken because of all the damage that Frieza's done. And also Frieza's men has been killed as well, so it's just Frieza. And Goku would give Frieza one chance to get out of here, as Frieza lost stamina and now he's back in his final form. But before he could do anything, Vegeta would then have charged up a big bang attack, killing Frieza right then and there, as Frieza had no energy left. Goku was mad at Vegeta for why he did that, and Vegeta explains, Kakarot, you're a fool. Your soft heart will get people killed. You know that Frieza put his hands on the ground, right? He was about to blow up the planet, as he was going to trick you. As he will blather blow up the whole planet to win, as Frieza doesn't care. Well, now that all that was then situated, peace was finally restored to the universe. And so Goku and Vegeta would still continue their training together, as Vegeta wants to unlock Super Saiyan, and that room of spirit and time can help. Well, in the far off distance, about a year later, a young man in a blue jacket, Capsule Corp jacket with purple hair, would then arrive from a future timeline, confused as he doesn't see Goku here. Now, Trunks would have still arrived just like the original, and yes, he is from the future timeline. Now, Trunks realizes that Goku's not at his original spot that he was supposed to be, as he should have been landing for planet Yardrat pretty recently, but he doesn't know. Well, Trunks would then go off and he would go find Goku's home. He sees that Goku is there, and him and Goku will continue talking, and Trunks would have the same conversation that he had in the original, explaining to Goku about the androids, the fact he's from the future, and more. Now, Goku didn't initially believe him at first, but he did sense that Trunks' heart was pure, so he might be telling the truth. Trunks does show himself turning into a Super Saiyan, which does surprise Goku, but of course we all know that Goku can turn Super Saiyan himself, so they would turn Super Saiyan, they would have a little clash just like before, and that would then all end. Now, Trunks would then note to Goku about the androids when they're showing up. They have about 3 years' time, and that these androids are absurdly powerful. Now, Goku would then thank Trunks, and Trunks would then take his leave. And just Trunks had to go back to his future timeline to make sure things are situated, but he will be back. Well, Trunks would then take his leave, going back to his timeline. Now, Goku would then contact Piccolo, and they would then tell the majority of his Z fighters most of the news, keeping some stuff hidden, such as Trunks being Vegeta and Bulma's child. They're going to keep that hidden. Now, of course, Goku knows about the heart virus issue, but remember, Goku kind of forgot about it. He didn't really think it was going to spike that badly, but we'll get into the heart virus stuff in just a moment. Now, they would then have 3 years to train. Now, I feel like most of the training for the 3 years would practically go the same, as Goku was kind of helping Piccolo and Gohan catch up to him. And while, yes, Goku wouldn't mind using the Rhymus Spirit in time, but remember though, he doesn't want to overtrain it or overuse it. But he is learning to try and start using new things in Southern Spirit in time, such as he did actually experiment and he was able to form Frieza, and he was able to fight Frieza in the Spirit in time. He's able to create almost like a fighting dummy and fight other beings and get rid of them whenever he wishes. Now, Goku would of course continue doing his thing, continuing to train, continuing to get stronger with Gohan and Piccolo. Vegeta, of course, would have flown off on his own to go out into outer space and to try to unlock Super Saiyan, because he knows that Kakarot has the same thing. Well, he was mainly helping Gohan and Piccolo become stronger was his whole point. So I feel like the 3 years would pass by pretty consistently. Now, I feel like near the end, Goku would want to go inside the Rhymus Spirit in time. He does want to make sure that Gohan and Piccolo can get strong enough. When he goes inside, we now have a problem. If you remember, that 1 day equals to 1 year. Now, Goku can change this however much he wants, but he kind of sticks to it since it's more simple and it's easy to understand. Also, you don't want to stay in there for too long because then you got more problems. Well, Goku then comes to realize that his heart virus symptoms has started. Now, some people might add, well, why wouldn't Goku just kind of make a cure for the heart virus? Well, again, he could, but he already knows that they have the medicine to cure it, so he didn't think about it. So he would start having the symptoms. He had enough power to be able to open up the door again, so they could then get out of there. And then they would all go to Master Roshi's house, and Goku would be given the heart virus medicine so he may continue to recover. But Goku will still be out for a few days. Well, if that is the case, the Z Fighters would still find the androids. This time around, it would be either Piccolo fighting Android 19 first. Now, Vegeta would still show up and he would defeat Android 19. Most of the events will play out pretty similar. The only difference here is when Dr. Gero would still be able to escape because Goku's not around, but mainly because he has no ki energy, so they can't really sense where he is because he's unsensible. Now, he was able to escape, and he was able to find the androids and able to activate them, but 17 and 18 would then kill Dr. Gero. And after his death, they would then activate Android 16. With 16 activated, they would then all step out and begin walking down the street. We would then have Vegeta have the same matchup that he had against Android 18. But of course, she would still overpower him and defeat him, breaking his arm, knocking him out of the way. The other Z Fighters have no chance. Piccolo is very powerful. He is stronger than he is in the original. Not as powerful as he was when he fused with Kami, but a little bit close. He was actually able to fight 18 okay, but she did overpower him as well. Piccolo knows that he can't win. The fact of how easily they beat Vegeta, he wouldn't do much better. So Piccolo would then leave heading towards Kami's lookout, so he could fuse with Kami and become stronger. Now Goku is still recovering, so Vegeta and Trunks would then go step into the Rhymus Spirit in time, just like the original, and they would start their training. Now Piccolo would go fight Android 17 and 18, and his match with Android 17 would actually be a little bit more one-sided. Piccolo would actually be able to hold himself off a lot better against 17, overpowering him, and 17 was shocked of how strong Piccolo was able to become. And when that is the case though, Cell would still arrive. Oh, and to mind you, Cell's little match with Piccolo would still happen. Now Piccolo was stronger than Cell, but Cell will still use a solar flare to get away. And he would still continue to absorb humans and to grow stronger. Now, Cell would still arrive and he would overpower Piccolo, nearly killing him because Piccolo used up a lot of stamina fighting. Now, Piccolo did not get overpowered as easily. He would hold himself a lot better, but Cell would still beat him. He would trick Android 17, and he would absorb him, after a quick scuffle with 16, who is stronger than him. But he was able to trick 17 and absorb him, becoming semi-perfect Cell. Now he was on the lookout as he overpowered Android 16, but with the help of Tien, 18 and 16 were able to escape. And because Krillin wanted a robotic wife, he did also destroy the remote, so there's no bombs or anything, and she cannot be deactivated or destroyed. Well, if that was the case, Goku would begin to recover, and he would finally awaken from the heart virus, which is a little bit earlier. Now, to mind you, though, this is when Cell originally became perfect, and he kind of slapped around Vegeta pretty good. Now, Goku knows that could he fight Cell? Yes, as he can sense Cell's power. Now, he does sense that Vegeta is there, but he needs a few moments to kind of recuperate. He was just bedridden for days. Well, he He would finally be able to recover, and this is when Vegeta would begin fighting second form Cell, the matchup going the exact same with Vegeta being in his ascended Super Saiyan form. Now, when Vegeta makes one of the dumbest mistakes I think we've ever seen in allowing Cell to absorb Android 18, this would not happen. Well, wait, Major Dragon, how would this not happen? Well, it would be because Goku is awake. He flew over there. He was able to get there faster because remember he's able to teleport around. He's able to get there a lot faster. He would then see what Vegeta's about to do and he would stop Vegeta. Now when Vegeta does try to stop Goku, Goku would actually open up a portal midway and Vegeta would fly right through it as Goku tricked him. And now Vegeta is stuck in a random dimension. And Vegeta would then scream in fury. Goku will have to deal with that later. Cell was curious. How did Goku just do that? Where did Vegeta go? As Goku says, it doesn't matter, you're going to fight me now. Now Goku would then transform into a Super Saiyan. Now Goku's been preparing for this moment. He's been using the room of spirit in time on his own when he's not training with Gohan or Piccolo. Because going inside the room of spirit in time is very taxing on you mentally. And he doesn't want Gohan to go through that. And he could not really make decisions for Piccolo, but he wants Piccolo to be level-headed so Piccolo can teach Gohan. And that's the whole point behind it. And also, he'll train better by himself so he can focus on fighting the enemies that he was creating inside of that room. Getting stronger in Zenkais. Goku is way stronger than he is in the original because he's been training for 3 years and he's also had a few years of the Spirit of Time. So he's way stronger. He's way stronger than he was in the original when he fought Perfect Cell. So Semi-Perfect Cell has zero chance of beating him. Now when Goku does go Super Saiyan, he begins his matchup with Semi-Perfect Cell. He has no chance. He would try tricking Goku, telling him that if he absorbs 18, blah blah, like how he did to Vegeta, but Goku's not going to accept that. Goku's not arrogant like Vegeta, and he's not going to take the chance. So Goku would not waste any time. Now Cell's getting desperate. Cell's considering doing the self-explosion. Now Cell, I think, would do this. Cell would see there's no way out because he can't beat Goku. Goku's too strong. And he can't find Android 18 since they flew away, far away from the islands. So how are they going to be able to stop Goku? He can't. Now when he begins to expand, he tells Goku that one wrong move and it'll blow up the planet. Goku already knows what to do. He would then open up a portal, which would then send Vegeta back into their world. He would then open up a portal below Cell. Cell would then fall through the portal and in the infinite void. Cell would then scream no as it was too late, as he would then explode in a massive flurry of explosions. Well, since this was the case, and Cell was defeated initially. Now we know that Perfect Cell was able to survive and, well, etc. And he actually evolved in this Super Perfect Cell. He would still be alive. And I feel like Goku would go in and check. So when Goku goes inside this room of spirit in time, Cell was in there and he recovered. He's still in his second form. Now, because he never tasted his perfected form, so it wouldn't make any sense. And he wouldn't be able to escape either. Now that Goku was in there with Cell, Cell tells him, good, now I can kill you properly. I'll just explode again. And Goku says, well, you're mistaken one thing. You're in my playground now. I make the rules. Now this is when Goku would waste no time, as then chains would then grab around Cell, trapping him so he can't escape. Goku would then charge up a full power Kamehameha. Cell would beg for mercy as he couldn't defend himself, but Goku's not going to waste no chances. He would then annihilate Cell, hitting with a full power Kamehameha, killing him, leaving no trace. So Cell is gone. He's been defeated. This, of course, ends the Cell arc much earlier because since there's no Super Saiyans with Gohan, there's no Goku, that doesn't really happen. And Goku is still alive. Well, since that was the case and Goku finally defeated Cell, peace was finally restored. But there's still one more fight that needs to go down. Vegeta would then challenge Kakarot right then and there to a match. As Goku intervened, not only disrespected his pride, but also he has a score to settle. Vegeta would then go Ascended Super Saiyan and he began attacking Goku. Now, since Goku's been in his own room of spirit in time, he was able to master Super Saiyan, so he has perfect control, even above Vegeta. He overpowers Vegeta, while Goku does have a little bit of a hard time because he is tired from fighting Cell. It doesn't really matter. Goku would overpower Vegeta, and he would have defeated him in the matchup. Now, Vegeta did get a final flash on Goku, and Goku was barely able to survive the attack. When he hit Goku with it, Goku was pretty badly wounded, which did even the playing field between the two, but Goku would still come out on top and he would still defeat Vegeta, so Vegeta would still lose. Now that Vegeta lost, he would kind of accept that Goku's number one for now, and he would just fly off. Now, since this was the case, Trunks would then ask Goku about this ability that he does have, because he never heard anyone else talk about Goku having this. Goku would of course explain it, and Trunks says, well, if it's okay with you, could maybe me and you go in there for another year or two and you can train me so I can become stronger? Now, Trunks already trained with Vegeta inside the Room of Spirit and Time, the one that Popo had on the lookout. But if Goku can control that realm, he could help Trunks get even stronger, at least for one more year. And Goku does agree, so for one day, him and Trunks then disappear, and they'll go inside of his own dimension verse of Room of Spirit and Time, and they would begin their training. Now, Goku would teach Trunks how to master Super Saiyan, and with Trunks' help, they would be able to figure out how to go further beyond. Trunks would actually unlock the power first, because he's a half Saiyan. With Rage, since Goku would purposely bring back people like the androids 17 and 18 and more, since to fight Trunks to push him, Trunks being pushed past his limit would unlock Super Saiyan 2. And with Super Saiyan 2 unlocked, Goku realizes that it is possible, so he will continue training to reach that goal. So, now that Trunks now has Super Saiyan 2 and does have a grasp on how to use it, Trunks would then take his leave going back to his future timeline to where he would absolutely decimate the androids and defeat Cell very easily. Now, of course, this would also mean that the events of Trunks' future timeline would go differently. And I know we're jumping really far forward, but let me just explain. Well, Trunks originally, the reason why Zamasu really even did anything is because Lord Beerus was dead. Now, of course, he could have killed the Kai, but that was the main reason. Now, Trunks' time issue did kind of set off Goku Black, and that's how the body swapped. But it's mainly because Zamasu was scared to do anything because of Beerus. But since Beerus was killed in this verse, he could get away with it. Well, Beerus would not die alongside with the Supreme Kai. Trunks already has Super Saiyan 2, and he's way stronger. So when Babidi does show up and Trunks is trained by the Supreme Kai, I would then like to see Trunks get absolutely annihilated. And what I mean by annihilated is the Supreme Kai hitting his head because Trunks broke the Z-Sword. Now, before we jump into that, though, Trunks initially would have killed Dabura and Babidi. There would have been no chance. Dabura was easily overwhelmed by Super Saiyan 2 Trunks and defeated. That means that Buu would never be born, and the Supreme Kai would still be alive. And if that was the case, then Trunks would continue training with the Z-Sword along with the Kais, and he would accidentally break the sword, having the Kai beat the heck out of him comically. But Elder Kai would still be brought back. And if that was the case, Elder Kai would then unlock Trunks' inner potential, thus giving Trunks mystic form, thus having Mystic Trunks. If this was the case, then Beerus is still alive. So Beerus would still show up a few years later to basically talk about the Super Saiyan God. Now, of course, Trunks doesn't have Super Saiyan God. He does fight Beerus valiantly, and Beerus sees that he's the last Saiyan alive, so he gives respect to Trunks, and he decides to let it go, because the Earth food is good, too. As Beerus was mad that Trunks couldn't unlock it, but again, they don't have Dragon Balls either, and Whis says, well, he could always learn it by training. So Trunks would then leave on Beerus' world, and he would begin training with Whis. This would also mean that Trunks would then unlock Super Saiyan God, and even further down the line, he would unlock Super Saiyan Blue. So Trunks is actually the MVP of his timeline. Now, of course, Trunks would defeat any threat that is in his way, and Whis does offer him the role of a destroyer, but Trunks isn't really interested in that. He's not a destroyer. So he would probably have a second round with Beerus, and if Goku Black did show up, Trunks would have killed him, because Trunks has Super Saiyan Blue. Goku Black was also far weaker at that time, because he just swapped bodies with Goku, wasn't used to it. Trunks would have sliced him in half and killed him. So yeah, that whole plan would have been thwarted. That means that Goku Black would have never found the other Zamasu, and basically turned him evil as well, to where he used the wish to have immortality. So the Goku Black arc would never happen. But now we're going to jump back to our timeline. So Trunks' timeline is peaceful, and I feel like Trunks during that time would ask Whis about bringing his friends back, and I think Whis maybe could do it, bring them back, because he can, or they would also find the Namekian Dragon Balls, and they could also bring his friends back. But either way, that would pretty much go down. Now, of course, we're going to jump back to our What If timeline. Well, now that Trunks was gone and peace was finally restored, there would be 7 years of peace. as Goku never died. Now, of course, this does mean, since that Goku never died, there wouldn't technically be Super Saiyan 3. Now, from what we know from Dragon Ball Daima, you don't need to be dead for 7 years to unlock it, apparently. Vegeta was able to do it too. So I feel like Goku, for the 7 years, plus he can also train in a room of spirit and time whenever he wants to, do whatever he wants, change the gravity, everything else, he would definitely unlock Super Saiyan 3. I don't see why it's not possible. If Vegeta could do it on his own, and he's still alive, then why can't Goku do it? That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, Goku was able to unlock Super Saiyan 3. Now, since this was the case, though, Vegeta will continue his training, doing the same thing. He would have definitely fought Goku multiple times. He recently, before the Majin Buu arc would begin, he would see that Goku does have Super Saiyan 3, and Vegeta was pretty hit by it, but he'll find a power that's even better than that. Well, the same events would happen for the World Tournament. Now, before this, Gohan would still go to Orange Star High School, become the Great Saiyan Man. Gohan is not a slouch. Gohan has continued his training. Goku and Piccolo would help him, as he now unlocks Super Saiyan. Now, since Goku can just use the Room of Spirit and Time, and even 1 hour equals to 15 days of training, they could just go in there for an hour and Chi-Chi wouldn't fuss about it. So, in reality, Gohan would be absolutely ridiculously strong because him and Goku can just continue training in there. And imagine they go in there for even 12 hours. Exactly. So that's almost half a year because it's 24 hours total. So yeah, it's ridiculous. And they can do whatever they want. Have new opponents for Gohan. Use his anger to make him transform. Gohan would easily have Super Saiyan 2 by this point, easily. And balancing his life out, Gohan is a monster. He's absolutely a menace with his potential being put to its fullest. Goten is even worse. Goten has even better potential than Gohan from what we saw because his SL count's higher. He would have already had Super Saiyan. He would have already trained with Goku in his Room of Spirit and Time. A lot more because Chi-Chi is more open to it because Goten has zero real interest in studying. And Goten is a absolute menace as well. He is weaker than Gohan because he's only 7 years old. Technically be like 8 or 9 because of Room of Spirit and Time. But still, he's only a child. While Gohan is probably, I would say that Gohan's probably about 18, 19 years old at this time. Now, if this was the case though, Goten would have been a monster, as they already rivaled Frieza in power alongside him and Trunks. So imagine he trains with Goku for all those years. Exactly. I would definitely say that he's definitely second form Cell level, or a little bit stronger than that. Like he's literally ridiculous. Does he have Super Saiyan 2? Obviously not, but he does have Super Saiyan. He has a master. Now, we're finally going to jump towards the World Martial Arts Tournament, where everybody's still met up, just like the original. And yes, Supreme Kai would still make himself known. Now, Gohan would still see Videl get beat up by Spopovich, and he would still get furious. He would then meet up with the Kabuto Kai, and he would then showcase Super Saiyan 2. His power alone is far stronger than that of Fat Buu and Evil Buu. And this is just my personal opinion. If Gohan had Room of Spirit and Time for 7 more years of training with his father, and he did not slouch off, Gohan easily could be in the realms of Super Buu, and it's not really pushing it. And the fact that's a Super Saiyan 2, that's not too crazy. So he's tens of times stronger than the original. It shocks Kabuto Kai and Supreme Kai. His power surpasses that of Majin Buu, aka Kid Buu. But he will still have his energy taken, and the whole canister was full. They would then leave, but it was too late since that was way more than enough power to revive Majin Buu. Now, Majin Buu was fully restored, though. We would then have the whole Z Fighters gang up on Buu. Down to Boro would have been killed by Gohan. He has no chance. Also, Goten would have won the Junior Division, easily beating Trunks. Now, as for Babidi would have been killed by either Piccolo, Gohan, etc. He would have been killed. Now, as for Majin Buu, I think Goku would probably want to let Gohan step up to fight Buu, because he wants the kids to kind of have a chance to kind of defeat somebody. He had the same mindset in the original Buu arc. Now, yes, I know he was dead, but still, he wanted that even in the Cell arc. He wanted Gohan to surpass him one day. Well, Gohan would easily overpower Fat Buu, even though some of his energy taken, he's fine. Even in Super Saiyan, he can overpower Fat Buu, because it's only a 2 times difference. He overpowers Fat Buu easily, but Goku doesn't want Gohan to kill him because he does sense good nature within him. Now, if this was the case, Buu would have been spared, and there would have been tales of a monster nearby in the city. Hercule would have still met Majin Buu and Bee, and Hercule was still shot alongside the dog. This would make Majin Buu furious, as Majin Buu would then split in half, thus having an evil counterpart, thus being Evil Buu. And now that Evil Boo was here, we would have problems. He would still absorb Fat Boo, changing his chocolate beam on him, and he would then become Super Boo, a being of almost pure evil intent. He did spare Hercule. And if this was the case, then we would now have Goku and a friend sense the power. They would have flown over to go see what's going on. Now Gohan would have left with Kibito Kai and Supreme Kai because they want to train him to unlock the Z-Sword, as Gohan had more than enough potential. So Gohan would continue his training to unlock the Z-Sword, as they would then see what's happening. Gohan would then break the Z-Sword as they test it out, so Gohan was unlocking his mystic power through Elder Kai. Now Goku and Vegeta, during this time while he's getting the power unlocked, Goku and Vegeta would begin fighting Super Boo, and Goku in his Super Saiyan 3 state, since this during time, he is a lot stronger. He's able to hold his own very well against Super Boo, but Super Boo sensed Gohan's power when he first transformed Mystic. So he's actually stalling Goku and Vegeta the whole time. Gohan would then show up, as Gohan only had a little bit of time left to form, and he would absolutely annihilate Super Boo. It wouldn't be competition. This version of Gohan is as powerful as Buuhan was originally. You can make him even stronger. You can put him at Vegito's level of power, which is not far-fetched in Mystic Gohan. Boo was getting slapped up really bad. Now, the reason why Goku and Vegeta were able to last so long is because Goku, again, is way stronger, tens of times stronger. Same with Vegeta. Vegeta's actually grown much stronger. He would actually, in Super Saiyan 2, without the Majin control, he would be able to beat Fat Boo. It would be an extremely close fight, and a full power Final Flash could do it, but yes, he was able to beat Fat Boo if he needed to. Majin Vegeta definitely could, with his self-explosion. But now, of course, Gohan was decimating Super Boo, but he dropped his guard. They didn't know about his absorption technique, so Gohan was then absorbed. They couldn't stop it because it was too late. Gohan would then fuse with Super Boo, thus making Buuhan. Now, this version of Buuhan is absolutely ridiculous. He's in the Vegito realms of power because of Gohan's strength. Now, they know that they're in a losing end, as the Supreme Kai was there and he offered the earrings. Goku knows about it, as when Super Boo then flies at them, Goku then opens a portal mid-flight, and Super Boo would then fly into another dimension. Goku says that's not going to hold him for too long. We need to hurry up. Now, when Super Boo lands to this dimension, it was an infinite void. He looks around confused. As then, he would then look all around him, and he would then see a bunch of different villains. Frieza at his full power, Cell, the androids, the Saiyans, a whole bunch of enemies all around him, even Fat Boo. And he was then jumped by 30 of the versions of the characters. He was jumped by a bunch of villains. Now, of course, this wouldn't work very well, as he rips through them all like they're nothing. And he would then scream at the top of his lungs, and he would be able to easily escape through the dimension back to Earth. He would then fly towards Goku and Vegeta ready to kill them, but Vegeta would finally agree and put the earring on. They then fuse into the ultimate power, Vegito. Now that Vegito was here, Vegeta would overpower Super Boo in his base form. Remember, Vegito's stronger than Buuhan. And he would then go Super Saiyan, and the fight would begin. Now, Buuhan would then go to his full strength, and although he's at original Vegito's level of power, Vegito is many times stronger than that, tens of times stronger than that. So he overpowers Buuhan pretty easily. His whole plan is to get absorbed, so the same fight would go down, as it's the same power difference. But Boo would still quote-unquote trick him and absorb him. Vegito's been expecting this, as he then forms a fake key shield around himself, and he would let himself be absorbed. Now, since this is the case, and he was now absorbed, he would then travel through Boo's body, as him and Goku would then separate because of the magic, would then wear the earrings off, and they would then travel through Boo's body. Now, Boo would be confused as why he didn't get the power yet. He would then try searching his body to find them. They would then find the cocoons where everybody was, aka Gohan and Boo, and Super Boo would then try stopping them. Now, Goku's very strong enough, so he's able to hold his own, while Vegeta removes Gohan, and then he would then rip out Good Boo. Now, if this is the case, Fat Boo was also removed. He would then begin changing. And then, when they finally escape out of his body, he would then become Kid Boo. Now, Goku wasn't as worried because Kid Boo is much weaker than Super Boo, but he's still dangerous. He did try blowing up the planet about 5 seconds ago when he launched a giant attack at it. Goku would be able to stop the attack himself, and they would then go to the Supreme Kai world, and Kid Buu would then follow them. Now, him and Goku would have their matchup, and Goku is the clear advantage. He's way stronger than Kid Buu, tens of times stronger. Now, he is tired because he did fight in Super Saiyan 3, as he cannot hold the form well, but Vegeta would then step in and tell Goku to go to your full power, and I'll stop him myself. Vegeta would actually fight Kid Buu pretty well, as he was able to fight Fat Buu before he split, and Buu lost half his power, but still, he's able to fight him pretty well, and actually hold his own. But, of course, Vegeta would start getting overwhelmed, even as Super Saiyan 2. Now, Goku would be able to charge up enough energy because he did not draw out the fight with Kid Buu, because he's not fighting as hard, because he's still stronger. Being able to utilize 100% of the form, he would then be at his full strength, and he would waste no time kicking Kid Buu away, overpowering him with punches and kicks. Now, Kid Buu was overwhelmed by Goku's attacks. He would then try firing his own vanishing ball, but of course, Goku would destroy it. Goku would then fire a full power Kamehameha, hitting Kid Buu, who was not prepared for it, and he would be completely incinerated, leaving no trace of Kid Buu behind, and he was defeated. Now, everybody still gave Mr. Satan credit for defeating the evil Majin Buu, and they would still use the Dragon Balls to reverse all the damage and also erase people's memories about Majin Buu, so Majin Buu's a free being. Now, Good Buu was still friends with Mr. Satan, so they would continue having their friendship, and Vegeta would then accept that Kakarot is number 1 after seeing the matchup. Now, what about Dragon Ball Daima? Now, to be honest with you, I have not seen Dragon Ball Daima yet. I know, I'm waiting for the full English version to come out, and then I'll take a look at it. But I do know the majority of the scenes in Daima when they're reverted back to kids. Goma becomes the main bad guy, gets the third eye, becomes crazy powerful. We all know that, Super Saiyan 4 and everything. That's the whole point of the story. And yes, Goku would still unlock Super Saiyan 4. It makes sense why he wouldn't. And it would make sense why he wouldn't unlock the form. So Neva would still unlock his power. Now, this version of Super Saiyan 4 Goku would be way stronger than he was in the original. And yes, they would also be reverted to kids, but the wish back to adults again. So things are back and being peachy again. And that was the case. Goku would overpower Goma and remove the third eye and defeat him. So since that is the case, Goma wouldn't have no chance against Goku. And yes, Vegeta would still have Super Saiyan 3. But again, he still struggles with the form stamina issue that would all practically go the same. Now we're going to jump over the Beerus arc really quick. As for the Beerus arc, Lord Beerus was still awake and having reminiscence of a Super Saiyan god. Now, he still wants to fight this being. Well, he would still meet Goku on planet Earth for almost 38th birthday party. Now, you could say that Goku also meets King Kai in the other world, because he can travel through anywhere he wants. And Beerus is still interested in Goku. They would still have their matchup, just like before, but Goku be defeated. Even as a Super Saiyan 4, he has no chance. Goku knows that even a fusion won't work, so they would still worry about using the Dragon Balls to then basically wish the Super Saiyan God. Now, if this was the case, Shenron would then tell them all about the wish, and of course, they need to do the ritual. So, 5 Saiyans would then give their energy to Goku, since Videl said she was pregnant, so now there's 5, having Tan. And since this was the case, Goku would then become a Super Saiyan God. Now, Vegeta was mad that he kind of didn't get some time to shine, but he lets it go for now, just as long as Kakarot stops Beerus, as Beerus would not get as angry because Goku's there to stop any incidents, such as Buu hogging all the pudding, or, in the Super version, Goten and Trunks knocking the pudding out of his hand with a ball. Now, since this was the case, Goku as a Super Saiyan God is many times stronger than Beerus. Now, Goku needs to use every advantage that he gets. Now, he would try fighting Beerus the old-fashioned way first, and that doesn't work out too well, as even using 80% of his strength, Beerus is not even trying. So when Beerus flies towards Goku, Goku then opens up a dimension, and Whis was surprised. He says, "Oh my," as he never thought a mortal could do that. Beerus would then float in random open dimensions, and he's like, "What the heck?" Then Goku then flies in out of nowhere, hitting Beerus, as Goku says, "You're now in my world." Now, Beerus didn't know that he could do this. What is this power? And then Goku would then form 20 of himself as Super Saiyan gods, and they would then all jump Beerus at the same time. Now, Beerus was having fun fighting the 20 versions of him. I guess it makes him 20 times stronger. But yeah, Beerus was still defeating every single shadow copy of himself, Goku would of course do other things to outsmart Beerus and defeat him, and unfortunately Goku would then lose the god power, so he ran out. Now, this is the case though, Beerus would then stop the match since Goku has no energy left. Goku would then use what little energy he had left, and he would give Beerus a bunch of food right out in front of him. So him and Beerus would then eat, kind of having like a little moment of respect, as Goku would then tell Beerus, don't destroy the planet Earth, please. And Beerus says, well, since you did so well, and this ability is very unique, I'll let it slide for now. For now. Well, they would then head back towards Earth, and Beerus would then back up on that claim. I'm still going to destroy Earth as I promised. I would go against me as a destroyer if I don't. Beerus would then destroy a super small piece of a rock pile. And there you go. We says, well, there you go, Beerus. You destroyed Earth, just not very much of it. And he says, yes, well, I can't go against my word, but I guess I used up all my energy in that fight. And he wants to fight Goku again. Now, Goku doesn't really know where Beerus is, so he does ask Whis, hey Whis, where is Beerus' world? And Whis would then whisper in Goku's ear, and he would then leave. So now that they then leave, Vegeta would try to woo Beerus, and mainly Whis, to basically get him to train him. That's Vegeta's whole point, to catch up to Kakarot. And Whis would then accept. It did take Vegeta a few months to do it, but once when he finally arrived to begin his training, Goku was already there training. Vegeta was so furious. How did Kakarot get here first? Goku says, oh, I've been here for a couple months now. And he says, well, Whis told me actually where Beerus' world was kind of located at. It was a bit weird trying to figure it out, but once when I went in my dimension, I was able to open up a teleport right to Beerus' world, which is separate in another part of the dimension. But I was able to get through there. Vegeta was not very happy, as he then yells at Kakarot, telling him how much he hates him, and for Whis to train him now. So him and Vegeta would then begin their grueling training, thus so they can get stronger. As far off into outer space, they would then begin collecting the Dragon Balls to bring back the evil Emperor. Our story last ended with Son Goku fighting off the legendary, most diabolical feline, Lord Beerus. Now, if we continue forward, we would be discussing the Resurrection F arc, aka Golden Frieza. But we're going to add a little twist on this story. Some different characters are going to arrive. Now, King Cold is still alive. He's still alive, still going strong. Now, King Cold would want his son back, and he realizes this. So they would still use the Dragon Balls to still wish Frieza back to life. And Frieza would still wish back to life. He would still be put together with the machine. Now, we know that originally Frieza was in pieces, but we're going to say here that Frieza was still badly wounded from the injuries. So either way, Frieza would have fully recovered, but he realizes that his army is not as powerful as it used to be. King Cold kept his army to his own. He kept the rest of Berry Blue and Kokono. He kept it all pretty much for them. Well, he would then tell Frieza, well, what are you going to do now? Now that you're back, you can start taking over the galaxy again. Well, Frieza's instant thing to do is revenge. That's his number one thing that he wants to do. He wants to fight, and he wants to kill Goku and Vegeta. He explains that these Saiyans will find out that he's alive sooner or later, and they're going to kill him. As well, Lord Beerus could also kill him as well. Frieza then realizes that he needs to start training. And King Cold does note that you do have a lot of untapped battle power. So, for the next 3 to 4 months, Frieza and King Cold would train together as father and son. As it would make sense because Frieza originally trained with Shushimi and Tagoma. That's how they became so strong, because they were fighting Frieza all the time. But this time around, it's King Cold and Frieza. Now, we don't know about King Cold's inner potential like Frieza. Frieza was a freak of nature, but from what we can tell is that King Cold's final form at full power was around second form cell level. Now, if that is the case, even if his potential is less than Frieza, which I don't see how that makes any sense, but let's just say it is, or even similar to Frieza, these beings are going to be extremely powerful. So Frieza and King Cold will start their training together. So for the next 3 to 4 months, most of the events would go the exact same. Now, when Goku and Vegeta are training on Beerus' world, this is when Frieza would still show up to planet Earth to find Goku and Vegeta, to kill all the Saiyans and end the whole thing. Well, Goku would then get a notification from Bulma about Frieza. Now, this is when most of the Earthlings have fought off Frieza's soldiers. And again, with King Cold there as well, the army's a bit bigger, but they can handle themselves. Another thing, too, is Gohan is not as much of a slouch. Remember, he's been training. And as well, he also has Mystic, so he's a lot stronger. He's not stopped training. He has slowed down a little bit because Videl has their child, but he did not get rusty. Now, same with Piccolo. Piccolo's only getting stronger himself. But now, of course, they would continue fighting Frieza's soldiers, easily defeat him. Togoma and Tsushima would have been defeated. Piccolo is not weak like he is in the original. He's even stronger because he's training with Gohan. Now, Gohan would fight Frieza, and it wouldn't go the way that he think it is. Now, Frieza is similar in power that he originally was. It wouldn't make that much sense for him to get that much stronger. So, Frieza's around the same strength that he originally was. Now, Gohan can fight Final Form Frieza pretty well and hold his own. But of course, Frieza, we know, is holding back, as King Cold is kind of staying in the background. He's letting his son do all of it, as in reality, King Cold didn't even want to come here. He doesn't care. He has zero interest in this planet. The only reason why he came here is because Frieza complained to him like a spoiled brat. He really wanted to come here and defeat them. He sees no need, as with their new power, why would they need it? But carry on. But now, Gohan will start getting overwhelmed by Frieza once when Frieza goes into his golden form. Gohan gets slapped around really, really badly. And yes, he still gets death beamed. Now, this is when Goku would then use his abilities and he'll be able to teleport right to Earth, bringing Whis and Beerus along with him. As remember, he can jump across different dimensions and stuff. He can get there really quickly. Well, Goku would arrive to Earth just in time to save Gohan's life, and they would be shocked to see how strong Frieza is, and there's a new guy that they don't know of. And Vegeta does know who he was. As he said, that's King Cold, that's Frieza's father. But he didn't know he was alive. He thought, somewhere else. Well, this is when Goku would step up first and he would fight Frieza. Obviously, in his base form, he gets slapped around a little bit, as Frieza's still a little bit stronger than him in his golden form. But when Goku does transform into Super Saiyan Blue, that's where the tides turn really quickly. Goku is way stronger than he originally is. He already had 3 to 4 months of more training, having a leg up on Vegeta, and he can also train with other dimensions and train as strong as he wants with Whis. So, yes, Vegeta's also gotten stronger as well. We're not going to diss Vegeta and put him on the ground. So when Goku is battling Frieza, Frieza has little to no chance, as, again, he's already starting to get tired because he's not used to the form. He made a fatal mistake. King Cold can control his power a lot better because he's more mature. He's also older, and he's able to conceal his power much better. Frieza's going all out, going crazy. That's his biggest fault. He's not used to having this much power so quickly. Well, King Cold would even be disappointed in his son. He expected that his son has his genetics better, but I guess he's wrong. He does have his potential, but his ability to control power is not very good. He's very unstable, mentally and, I guess, energy-wise. So Frieza would get overwhelmed by Goku, and he would lose his form. Now, this is when I think that Vegeta would then want to step up, but Goku would finish off Frieza on his own. Now, before Goku would finish Frieza, he gives him one chance to leave. Frieza was then kicked to the ground as he was going to blow up the planet. But King Cold stops him. Using his tail to grab his arm, he holds him in the air and tells him, "You're not going to do this." And he would then pull Frieza to him, and he would glare at Frieza, telling him, "You're weaker than I imagined. I gave you one chance to get so much stronger, and yet you still lose. You disappoint me." And he would then toss Frieza to Vegeta and Goku, telling them, "You can do whatever you wish with him." And Vegeta would kill Frieza himself. He would fire a big bang attack and kill Frieza, as Frieza begged for his father's help. But now they got another problem: King Cold. King Cold would share his disdain for the Saiyans. He doesn't have that much respect for them, but he was a much better leader, and he does note on how powerful Goku truly is. He's also not a fool, because right over there, about 100 feet away, he sees Lord Beerus eating a parfait, aka Big Sundae, with Whis. He knows not to disturb Beerus. He knows that he's in a bad spot, but King Cold is also curious. He would then walk up to Goku in a friendly manner. Now, Goku, of course, is not trusting him, same with Vegeta. King Cold states that he's not going to destroy this planet. He's not here to kill everybody. But he does want to test out his power, if that's okay with you. And Goku can sense that he was telling the truth. You see, King Cold's not a fool. He doesn't have any reason to go for revenge. It doesn't make any sense. King Cold's not an idiot. Now, the only reason why he tried killing Trunks in the original is because he thought that Trunks' power comes from the sword. But considering the fact that when he found out what Frieza said, when they found out about, he also defeated Majin Buu, and he was able to fight Beerus as well, King Cold knows that, and now he knows, okay, well, the Saiyans are no joke. I'm not going to mess. And he clearly saw it when he saw Goku easily defeat Frieza. He can sense power levels now, similar to how Frieza can sense power levels now as well. He couldn't sense power levels before, so he didn't know how strong Trunks was. Now he knows how strong Goku in them is. He would then tell Goku he wishes to have simple combat to see who is stronger. And if they win, he will leave no problem. So Vegeta would then step up. As Vegeta said Kakarot had his turn, now it's my turn. So King Cold would still be in his second form, and Vegeta would overpower him initially. When King Cold goes into his final form, then it becomes a way more even, as he is able to start overpowering Vegeta. Now Vegeta would then go Super Saiyan, and King Cold's wanting to see it as well, and the match would be kind of even, as they're going back and forth, but King Cold wants to see his full power. Vegeta would then showcase Super Saiyan Blue. This is when King Cold would then showcase a new power. King Cold would then go into his golden form. Similar to Frieza's, but this one he has control over. He doesn't have a stamina issue. He can hold it much better than Frieza, because he's not as unstable as Frieza's power. Frieza had a hard time controlling his energy, so that's the reason why. It also explains why people like Cooler, even though I know he's non-canon, he's older than Frieza, and he was a bit above his brother, because he trained differently. But that's why he's able to stay in his final form with no issue. Frieza later on could, but so on. Well, King Cold here would then battle Vegeta, and their matchup was intense. The two trading blows back and forth, but King Cold does have the slight advantage over Vegeta. And Vegeta's starting to crumble because of his stamina. He's not used to Super Saiyan Blue just yet, and Vegeta would then charge up a final flash, throwing it right at King Cold. Now, King Cold was shocked by the attack, but he would block it, and this would do some damage to him. Now this will start evening the playing field. It was a very intense matchup between the two. Now, Vegeta's getting cocky because now he thinks that he's going to win. He damaged King Cold pretty well. King Cold would then laugh at him and tell him, "Do you really think I'm going all out yet?" And Vegeta was shocked to hear this. This also piques Beerus' interest. He's like, okay. He has something else under his sleeve? He thought so, because he sensed that King Cold is not going all out. Now Goku's getting a little worried, as then King Cold will begin to transform again. He would then go into his golden 5th form. Now, we don't know the multiplier for a golden 5th form, mind you, especially just the 5th form itself. Now, I have speculated, and I've done power scaling on Cooler and the buff that he got, as Kaioken times 20 Goku did nothing to Cooler in his 5th form, and Goku and Cooler were comparative to one another at that time in his final form. So Cooler at bare minimum, and also to Super Saiyan Goku's 50 times, and he slapped up Cooler pretty bad. So at minimum, Cooler is at least a 25 times increase in his 5th form. The 5th form 25 times increase, which is not that crazy far-fetched. So it does make some sense. And it makes sense why when Goku went 50 times, his punches did nothing to Goku, if you remember. You have to be nearly twice the strength for punches to do little to no effect. Now, that means that he's 25 times stronger in his golden 5th form state, and he would slap Vegeta around like he was nothing. Vegeta had no chance. Vegeta would try shooting all of his power into a final flash again, and when it hits King Cold, it does no damage to him. He basically flew through it like how Cooler did to his times 20 Kamehameha. It did nothing. So, because that's the case, and Vegeta was now defeated, it was now Goku's turn. Goku would then step up, and he would continue to fight King Cold. Now, Goku, in his blue form, is able to push King Cold very well. Mind you, though, it's because Goku, again, is much more stronger than the original. He's been training in the Room Spirit in Time with Whis, in his own free time away from Vegeta. And I know that's wrong for Vegeta fans, and I understand that, but it's a Goku what if. And Whis would even tell him, you have a chance to surpass Vegeta. This also makes Vegeta want to get stronger too, so it's bouncing back and forth. And also too, Goku was way more ahead than Vegeta because he trained 4 months earlier than Vegeta did. So that's the reason why. So, sorry Vegeta fans. But Vegeta did get a W, and he did kill Frieza. Now, Goku in his blue form was able to be pretty evenly matched with King Cold. And he was doing really well. Now, Goku again was struggling, and he was starting to fall on the later end of his power, as there's not much that he can really do. Now, one thing that Goku will do is they would then have a final beam clash. He would then fire a supernova at Goku, and Goku would have his whole top G singed off because it's a massive sun, And he would do what he did to Cooler, blasting the attack back with all his power, hitting King Cold, making a huge explosion. Now, King Cold now is in some deep trouble. Because of the fact that now he's losing his power, he's pretty injured. Now he's only in his 5th form. He lost the golden power. Goku was back in his base form as he didn't have enough strength. The blue power is still new to them, and he's still struggling to learn how to control it. Now King Cold would say that this is my victory since I'm still many times stronger than you. Goku says, oh, are you really? Goku has a backup. Goku would begin powering up, and he would then transform into a Super Saiyan 4. Now remember, I did skip over the events of Daima briefly, but Daima pretty much goes almost the exact same. Goku has been in the Demon Realm before, so he can jump back and forth whenever he wants. Daima would have gone kind of similar, just the characters are stronger. Goku would have still unlocked Super Saiyan 4 because Neva would have unlocked his energy. So yes, that still would have happened. Now this is just to mind you. He still has Super Saiyan 4. Now he didn't use it because, again, Blue's his strongest form, and God is a little bit stronger than 4. But Super Saiyan 4 has little to no energy drain, so this is a perfect backup for him when he's low on energy. So he turns Super Saiyan 4, and their battle goes once again. And now Goku's up to full strength again because he's in Super Saiyan 4. King Cold is still struggling. Goku would defeat King Cold by using a Dragon Fist technique, nearly punching through King Cold, nearly killing him, but King Cold was alive. King Cold, some of his men, aka Berry Blue in them, and Sorbet, they wouldn't do the beam on Goku or Vegeta, which would hurt them. And King Cold would then put up his hand, and he would accept defeat. He's not an idiot. He knows when he lost. If he continues fighting, they're going to kill him. Now, if this was Vegeta, Vegeta would have killed him. But this is Goku. Goku spares his enemies. He would then tell King Cold to get out of here, and please don't make the same mistake that your son is making. If you are, we're going to stop you. King Cold would then smirk, and he would say, you will be seeing me again. And he would then walk off, getting back into his ship and leaving. The only reason why he stayed and he fought is because he wanted to test out his strength. And yes, if he did win, he would take advantage of it and take over the planet. Now, obviously, he couldn't, so he's not going to push his luck and he's going to dip out. He's not like Frieza to where he gets crazy and does crazy stuff to try and win. You know, Frieza's a bit more like a spoiled brat. When something does not go his way, he freaks out. King Cold's more intelligent than that. He's more mature than that. So he knows when he loses, and he will meet the Saiyans again. And he will then leave. And he then goes to do his own thing. He has no care. You know, true, he lost. He probably wants to fight him again, but that's for later on. Now that peace was finally restored, what about the Goku Black arc? Well, before we jump into the Goku Black arc, the Universe 6 arc would pretty much be a landslide victory for Universe 7. As true, if Frost still knocked out Goku, Vegeta would just steamroll through everybody. Kaba, Magetta, and Frost would have been slapped out of the ring too. I think Vegeta would meet his maker though when he fights Hit, only because he went in and out of Super Saiyan Blue. When he does that, you're only able to use 1/3 of the strength. And when you do that, Vegeta was getting overpowered. He also wasn't used to Hit's new technique, and Hit was too strong. Hit might struggle a little bit more against Vegeta because he's a little bit stronger, but Vegeta would have been knocked out and defeated. He would have been too tired. Now, when Goku does step up to go battle Hit, being the last fighter, I don't see a reason why there is Monaka, but you could just say there is Monaka anyway, because there's still some motivation for Goku, and it is a funny scene. Well, since this is the case, Goku and Hit's match would be kind of similar in base form, continue to do their thing. That all pretty much practically goes the same. Now, one thing that Goku does is he does a new ability that we haven't seen yet, but he's been holding it back. Now, when Hit goes to punch Goku, now remember, Hit's ability is he can basically skip through a separate dimension and go somewhere else faster. That's Goku's whole cup of tea. So when Hit tries this ability, Goku would then do a similar attack on Hit. Now Hit would be completely lopsided of what Goku's doing, as Goku would then hit him with a time skip attack. As Goku says, I figured out what you're doing. You're jumping forward just a split of a second through another dimension of time. That's how you can time skip. I figured out your ability, and I can do the same thing. Now Hit was shocked that Goku could do something like this. Now Goku's way more advanced, just to mind you by the way. So this time around though, Goku would use his own ability back on Hit, and Hit would have been defeated, as Goku would have defeated him and knocked him out of the ring. It still would have been a very close battle, a very tough battle, but unfortunately, Hit would have been defeated. And even if Goku did give up and he jumped off the ring, Monaka would still sell the match with Hit, and Universe 7 would still win. Beerus would still use the Dragon Balls to wish back Universe 6's Earth, and the same. Goku would still meet Zeno, that goes the same. Now, I did touch base on the last part of what would happen during the Goku Black arc for Trunks, as Trunks' whole timeline. So if you want to go back and look at it, you can. You have to go back and go near kind of like the middle end of the video. And I did speak about what happened to the Goku Black arc and Trunks' whole story. So if you want to go back to that video and check it out, you'll hear the whole story. But unfortunately, the Goku Black arc would not go the way you think it would. It would end much faster, if it even happens at all. The reason why is because the Supreme Kai is alive in that timeline, meaning that Beerus is still alive. But if you want to check it out, go back to the last part and you'll see what I mean. Now that the Goku Black arc is ended, what about the Tournament of Power? Now the Tournament of Power, again, is such an important arc of stupidity, in my opinion, just because the fact of Goku would still tell Zeno all about it. Now, one thing to note as well, what about them finding a friend for Zeno? Well, unfortunately, they wouldn't be able to, because mind you, though, you can find another friend for Zeno. Now, what is he going to do? Well, I think he would then get Monaka to be Zeno's new friend, and Beerus would pay him a lot to be his friend, and I think Zeno would agree. So now Monaka's not being a delivery driver, he's now Zeno's new best friend. Or you can go down the other route of just Goku just hanging out with Zeno a lot more. You can teleport to him anytime. So he'll probably do that instead. He'll hang out with Zeno a lot more. Now, the Grand Priest does know on how Goku's ability. While he thinks a mortal should not have that power, and he doesn't know how he got it, it does concern him. Now, this is while they're making the Tournament of Power, just to mind you. And this is when Goku's starting to form his teams. I don't want to see him beforehand. Goku then speaks to the Grand Priest and says, "What do you mean?" And the Grand Priest then looks away and he doesn't want to tell him. Zeno can, again, he can predict what they're saying. He tells the Grand Priest, "No, tell him. I love stories." The Grand Priest would then sigh and he says, "Very well." He would then look to Goku and he would explain, "I don't know how you got this dimensional ability, but there's only one other being that had this ability as gifted as you do. And this being was so dangerous and so powerful, it was a dark plague among all the universes." Now Goku was shocked to hear this, as the Grand Priest explains, there used to be 18 universes, not 12. The 6 of them were destroyed instantly by Zeno. And Goku says, "Well, why does Zeno do that?" And he says, "Well, it wasn't because Zeno was upset or he got angry over a board game. The real story is much worse. There existed a being who started in the very beginning when Zeno made the first 18 universes. And even before Zeno, there was a being of pure darkness. This being existed in the darkest, most vile reaches of the universe. Where there is darkness, there is light. This being had the ability to use dimensional powers, like you. He was within one of the universes when Zeno created it, and he got corrupted by the same power that you did. He then used this ability to grow stronger, even going to the demon realms, growing stronger and stronger and stronger. The negative powers is only increasing him. With this dimensional power in his own realm, he was able to make his own set of Dragon Balls with the realm and the magic, and make it to where whenever he kills a being of divinity, of divine energy, he becomes stronger. He absorbs that power. He became the God Butcher. He then forged his own weapon in his own dark dimension that is so powerful that it can kill divine beings, even gods of destruction. Now Goku was shocked to hear this. Says, "Well, what's his name?" The Grand Priest then looks at him and says, "Janemba." The being known as Janemba was so powerful He decimated all 6 universes. Now, this was even before Lord Beerus' time, the original gods of destruction. He was so powerful that he started off first by killing mortals. Then the Kais, such as the South Kai, the King Kai, and more. Then the Grand Kai. Then the Supreme Kais. He killed them all. But he left one of them alive, so he could kill the god of destruction and them at the same time. He was so powerful that he killed 6 gods of destruction himself, and all the dozens of Kais alongside. He became so powerful that even if all 12 of the gods of destruction now attacked him, he would be unbeatable. It wouldn't work. He would be too strong. But he explains that when Zeno found out with those 6 universes, and he was planning on going to the next 12 to continue killing all of them, if he succeeded in taking the other 12, he would have been stronger than even the angels. And if he killed all of my children, he would be able to match me in power. Once when he could have slain me, was his plan, he would then take over Zeno's rule, thus rewriting all of these new universes in his own image. And he almost succeeded, but we stopped it early. Zeno saw what he did, so Zeno couldn't destroy him. That's how powerful he was. He was able to lock himself away in a dimension. What Zeno did, Zeno used all of his energy, with the Grand Priest as well. They were able to seal that dimension away. It's now called the Dark Dimension for a reason. This means that if he ever frees himself, no mortal, not even a god, can stop him. Only an angel could potentially defeat him. But we as angels, we cannot interfere with mortal affairs. Even if this being is killing gods of destruction, the angels must stay neutral. I will deal with it personally alongside with Zeno. But if all the gods of destruction maybe team up on him, they might be able to defeat him. But that's for later on. Goku's like, wow. And then they destroyed all 6 universes? Bro, he sounds strong! I mean, I wish I could fight him. The Grand Priest was shocked that he would say something like that, but he lets it go. Now that the story time was over, the Tournament of Power would still go down. It would practically go the same. Now, mind you though, Goku can't use his dimensional abilities in this, so he's kind of stuck. And of course, they can't fly or anything like that. Now, one being that they do bring is King Cold instead of Frieza. Since, why would they want to bring Frieza? King Cold's more trustworthy. Like, he understands than Frieza. And Vegeta would even agree to this. So, King Cold will still be brought along, and he's much stronger than Frieza, way stronger than Frieza. So when people like Topo, when he goes into his God Destruction mode, which we know that Topo got at least 20 times stronger. We know this because Blue Evolution Vegeta is 20 times stronger than Super Saiyan Blue level, because he was equal to Goku as Blue Kaioken. If this is the case, then that means that King Cold in his Golden 5th form, which, by the way, he would be stronger as well because he's still training. So he would already gotten way stronger. He would have perfected his Golden 5th form. So he could even get 25-50 times buff. You don't know. He would slap around, and with extremely tough battle, he would be able to beat Topo alongside with Vegeta, which would be a crazy team up. Blue Evolution Vegeta and 5th Golden perfected 5th form King Cold, they would then be able to defeat Topo. And I also paused for a dramatic effect, but didn't work out that good. But either way, though, Topo was defeated. Jiren is the biggest threat, though. Now, when Goku does fight Jiren, what about the Spirit Bomb? How would he be able to do that? Well, even if he did use a Spirit Bomb, which one thing you could say is during the 7 years, he did train with King Kai. It is a possibility, as he can go to different universes. He can go to the Otherworld and more to continue getting stronger. He did go to the Demon Realm and fight Neva, and I'll help alongside with Goma. But either way, he can do all this if he wishes. So you could pull that he did meet King Kai, and I'm going to say that he did, as it would not make that much sense for Goku to not explore, as, like, why wouldn't he? He can go to any dimension anytime he wants. Why would he not go to the Otherworld and train? In my opinion, during those 7 years, he would totally do that. He would jump to different dimensions, learn new things. He would easily learn the Kaioken, the Spirit Bomb, because he would then meet King Yema. King Yema would then tell him about King Kai as the best teacher. So Goku would also meet some of the Metamorian people and learn about fusion dance as well. And it would be cool if he also met some Yardrat people too over there, and he learned about the instant transmission technique. This is also not just ass once Goku has powers, quote unquote. Write down that one in the comments. Now, when Goku goes to fight Jiren, he will still use a Spirit Bomb. He would still unlock Ultra Instinct for the first time. He would lose the power, and King Cold would help Goku by giving him energy, in a more nicer way than what Frieza did. But carry on. And now, Goku is now back in the battle. Most of the turn to power would practically go the same. It's just that King Cold's a little bit stronger, and Goku's stronger as well. But against Jiren, it's not much of a difference. Jiren is so ridiculous. Now, when Vegeta does unlock Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, Goku would then use Kaioken times 20 on Jiren. It was an intense battle. And with Golden King Cold there, and Android 17 as well, since all the androids are still there, they would then help out, and it would be a pretty tough battle. And yes, Kefla would still lose. Most of the main people would still lose. And in the end, Goku would still win. Goku and his friends. I think Goku would team up with King Cold, just like how they did, and Vegeta was still knocked out, gave Goku the power. He becomes Master Ultra Instinct. He is stronger than Jiren. He's even stronger than before, but again, let's just say that he still loses the power, just like he did. And if that's the case, King Cold would then help Goku fight alongside. They then knock out Jiren together. 17 is still the winner. He's still the MVP. And if that is the case, then he still makes the wish to wish back all the universes that were destroyed. One problem with that. When they wish back all the universes, it's not adding the other 6 universes, by the way. When the Super Dragon Balls make this wish, since all the universes were destroyed, now that suddenly the universes are back, it's shaking everything. Now that all the 11 universes were brought back instantly, the whole dimensions and everything are being re-added, everything's being added back. That then causes a small crack to appear in a far-off dimension. Now it's beginning to leak. So now, there was finally peace. Most of the events would go the same, considering the fact with the Moro arc, that would practically go the same. Not too much would be a difference. The Broly movie could happen, but be a lot different. King Cold would still meet Paragus and Broly. Now, he wouldn't see much of a need for revenge to use Broly as much, but I think Chi-Lai and Lemma would realize how bad King Cold is alongside with Paragus. He just wants revenge, that they would convince Broly to turn on his father. Now, this is over time, by the way. This is not new. So they find a place to flee once when King Cold fights Broly, out of Broly turning treason on him. And again, Broly in his Akari form is very powerful, but King Cold's too high above him. Broly was pretty badly wounded. Since Broly did not go Super Saiyan because Paragus is still alive, they would then flee with Broly, being able to escape because Paragus would stop King Cold, as Broly would then escape. Broly was betrayed by his father, and he feels like he's worthless, but he has Chi-Lai and Lemma. They would then escape going to Earth, which they know is a safe place. Once when they go there, which is also the nearest planet, once when they go there, they would then meet Goku and the friends, and they would help Broly, and even bring Broly to Beerus' world to keep him safe for now, alongside with Chi-Lai and Lemma. So that would go kind of similar, just Goku would want to fight Broly on Beerus' world, and they would totally do that. Broly would probably unlock Akari again. It would be a pretty tough battle, but Goku would win. So it would kind of go the same for everybody. Just the only difference is they're not fighting over the Dragon Balls, they're not searching for stuff, and that's pretty much it for the Broly side. Now, time for the fun arc. The arc that everybody has been wanting to hear about. Well, the Moro arc, again, it's not what we're talking about. The Moro arc would go practically the same. And yes, for Gohan and Piccolo, it would go the same as well. It wouldn't make too much sense to really change much. It's just Goku is stronger. He could even use his dimensional stuff against Moro to overpower him. But the more that he's using it, the more that crack is getting larger and larger in that dark dimension. And then somebody was able to leak through it. Now, this is when the fun arc begins. Lord Beerus then gets a cold shiver, as then the dark dimension, that small crack that formed, would then shatter open. Janemba was free. The God Butcher, wielding his sword, he would then begin cackling, as now he's free. He can now bring rain upon everybody in the entire multiverse once again. His first stop is Universe 7. He would then use his sword to cut open a rift through the galaxies, through the universes, and through the dimensions, to then jump to Universe 7. Beerus then tells Whis what's going on, as then Goku and them would then look above, as by the way, Gohan and Piccolo and them would be there because they're fighting each other, that member, sparring. The God Butcher was there. And Beerus was terrified. He's heard tales of this monster. Now Beerus would then tell Goku and all of his friends to power up to full strength. Do not hold back at all. If you hold back, you will die. So Goku goes into his perfected Ultra Instinct or True Ultra Instinct. Vegeta goes Ultra Ego. Broly powers up to his Super Saiyan form. Gohan goes Beast. Piccolo would then go into his Orange form. Yeah, and Beerus would then even go full power himself. God Butcher would then aim his sword at them and smirk, telling them, and even looking at Beerus mainly, he's not too concerned about the mortals. They are powerful. He was even surprised that one of them had power of a destroyer and an angel. They might be a delicious little appetizer, but first, he wants Beerus first. He would then look to Beerus and state, "You must be a new destroyer. The old one, well, he's a bit stronger than you were." Very well, though. I'll still eat it anyway. As he would then tell Beerus, "Come get me." Beerus would then fly in, telling him to go to hell. He would then punch him right in the face, but it did little to no damage, as Janemba then smirks at him, quoting, "Go to hell? Where do you think I come from?" He would then stab Beerus right in the stomach with one swift motion. Beerus would then stumble backwards and fall to the ground, as he's not dead, but that severely wounded him. As Janemba would then see the mortals all getting ready to fight him, he would then toss his sword behind him as it lands in the ground, and he would open his hands out, stating, "This will be more of a fun challenge, so I'll go easy on you. I won't even use my own sword. Come at me." So Goku and everybody else, they all gang up and fight him. He's dodging every single one of their attacks, similar to how Legendary Broly did in the movie with Goku and Piccolo. And it did little to no effect. He was dodging all of their attacks. Now he would then kick Piccolo away with ease and punch Gohan in the back of the face. Using his tail, he would then slap Vegeta, and he tries hitting Goku, but Goku would dodge the ability. He is interested in Goku, as he explains that a mortal having an angelic ability, I've never seen that before. You will be a delicious appetizer for my power. Now, when Goku tries to sidestep away to dodge the attack, his tail grabbed him. He would then deliver a powerful punch to Goku, nearly killing him, launching Goku back, as Whis would just be forced to stand there and watch. But he had a scowl on his face, as he knows he cannot do anything. Now, he did double tap his staff, as his father is notified of what is happening. The Grand Priest would begin making his way, as after he got Zeno's permission. He would then begin making his way there, but it will take him some time. As Beerus was then healed by Whis. As Whis cannot intervene exactly by fighting him, he can heal everybody, and that is what he's doing. Beerus would then get up, and Beerus would then go to his true God of Destruction form, showing off to everybody. Now, Goku and Vegeta, mind you, they know that they're outclassed. Goku then tells Vegeta, "Wait, Vegeta, we can do the fusion technique." And do you really think Vegeta's going to do that? No way. And he says, "Vegeta, please. If we don't, we are in deep trouble here." Vegeta would swallow his pride, and they would then do the fusion, becoming Gogeta. Then Piccolo would then go Giant mode, giving him a little buff in strength. Gohan would go to his full power in his Beast form. Broly would then skip past Super Saiyan and go into his legendary Super Saiyan form at full power, ripping off his shirt. He's all crazy looking. As then, Janemba would then look and say, "Oh, now you're going full power. This might be a little bit more interesting. Don't bore me, please. It's been a few billion years since I've last woken up, so don't disappoint me." As they would then all fly in, as again, Piccolo and Gohan were teaming up beautifully. Piccolo was charging up a Beast Cannon attack, and he would throw it at Janemba. Janemba would then block it with his middle finger, sticking out, and then he flicks it away. Gohan was shocked that he blocked his most powerful attack, as he then flew in, hitting Gohan and Piccolo at the same time, knocking them into the water as they were defeated with that ease. He was disappointed. But the fusion is interesting. He hasn't seen a fusion like that in ages. As then, Broly would then try flying in with Gogeta. Gogeta was actually able to stagger him in their battle, as Gogeta is ridiculously strong. With Beerus teaming up as well alongside Broly, they were able to actually stagger him. And he was actually getting a little staggered. He's like, now we're talking. This is fun. And he was actually bleeding a teeny bit. As they would continue fighting him, giving him everything that they have. Everything. Gogeta has one option in mind. The Spirit Bomb. It's perfect. Gohan and Piccolo would then awaken, as he would then hold his hands up in the air, as Beerus understood. He would then Broly would then continue fighting him, as he's distracting him for the time being. As then, Broly, Beerus, and everybody would then give him their energy. He would then also get the energy from Universe 7 as well, helping him and fueling the Spirit Bomb. And yes, Earth would also help him, like the strongest people on Earth would, like 17, 18, etc. They would all help him out as well. And the Spirit Bomb was massive. Beerus would even give all of his energy to the Spirit Bomb as well. He would then throw it at Janemba, which is a bit of a problem. The Spirit Bomb is pure energy. Janemba's pure darkness. So that's a bad double X combo. Now, when it hits Janemba, he would then grab the attack as he tries pushing it back. But Gogeta would then use all of his energy. He would then scream. As he's already in Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct because they use the form together. He would then be starting to push the Spirit Bomb back. As Janemba was struggling. The pure goodness and pureness of the Spirit Bomb is making it more difficult for him. Gogeta would then scream Kaioken times 10, nearly destroying the fusion's body. As in one push, it was able to kill Janemba as the fusion splits apart. Goku and Vegeta nearly died from this, as they were unconscious on the ground. And they finally regained consciousness as Beerus was looking over him, telling him to get up. As then, they would then see the sword that was nearby then disappear in a black mist. Janemba was defeated. They did it! Janemba, the most powerful being, was defeated. This is an incredible day. Whis would have no change of expression, as in the Grand Priest would arrive. He's sorry that he missed it, as they said, well, we did it. He's defeated. And he says, no, he's not. I say, what do you mean? He said, that version that you fought, that was just a small clone of his power. That was not his true power. He's only grown stronger since then. He's training his own dimension. The small crack that leaked out, that was a small portion of his energy. And they said, so he's still out there. He says, yes. You were only fighting 1% of his true power. Goku and Vegeta will be so shocked as Beerus then fall to his knees. They're that weak? That was just a weak clone of himself? And he says, well, yes, of course. He's more impressed that he's able to do that, but with his mystic arts he can. And he explains, but now the problems have gotten even worse. As he would then tell them to come with him. As he says, the only being that could defeat him is an angel or higher. A god of destruction cannot match his power no more. Now, we would then cut over to Universe 11. Because, unfortunately, another clone has now arrived. Now, this clone was so powerful, it was the same power as the other one. He was there to collect energy, to try and kill the Destroyer. As Belmod was being overwhelmed by this being, being tossed around. Now he is old. He has the most experience out of all the other gods of destruction, but he's very old. He's struggling to keep up. Margarita just watched, she can't intervene. Now, though, as Belmod was about to be defeated, Toppo would then jump in his God of Destruction mode, as Janemba would then smirk and state, you know, so you're the candidate for a Destroyer. That's even better for me. You're not a full one yet, but you'll make a good meal. As he would then summon his sword to slash at Toppo, Jiren arrived, and he caught the attack. Janemba was surprised by his strength. His ki control was perfection. So, as it was beyond anything he's ever seen. As then, Jiren would then go to his full power, not Limit Breaker, and he would fight this being pretty well, holding his own. But unfortunately, he would begin to overwhelm Jiren. Jiren would then go into his full power and continue fighting, going to his limit-breaking mode. While Goku and Vegeta would then see that they're struggling to fight another one, they need to go down there and help, as they are fully rejuvenated as well. The Supreme Kai is there as well, and he explains that if you two need to fuse again, use the earrings, and only use it for the final battle. The earrings are even more powerful. And they say, yes, you're right. Now, Jiren would then be struggling, as with Toppo and the others in Belmod, Jiren's running out of options. Now, before they could do anything, more gods of destruction would then show up and attack Janemba, such as Champa and the others. They were all attacking him at once, and they weren't able to defeat him all together, as this was also with the help of Margarita. The gods of destruction were being overwhelmed initially, but Margarita would then break her own rules for Belmod and fight back. Now, the Grand Priest saw this, and he thought this was treason, though, but he understands. And he says, just don't tell Zeno. And Zeno probably already knows. He then asks Zeno, what should we do then about the angel breaking the rules? Zeno says, it's okay, she was helping her friends. So she was let off the hook. She was able to beat the clone, but now the main one is still here. As then, all the gods of destruction are here. All the Kais are far away to keep safe for now, as Jiren and all the strongest people, such as Jiren, even King Cold was there. 17, everybody was there. The strongest fighters. They would then see that the real Janemba has arrived. The real one. Finally, he had enough energy after fighting everybody to be able to come back. Now, they're in deep trouble. Now, Janemba's not a fool. He knows that he cannot match an angel just yet, to a degree. He knows that the Grand Priest is his biggest threat. He would get overwhelmed by him. But he wastes no time in swarming the gods of destruction in speed that they were not ready for. As then, he would be able to kill multiple gods of destruction, such as Champa, Belmod were killed, and more. As then Goku was running out of options on what to do, he then has one idea. Because he's not going to stop growing in power, as he's even more powerful than even the Grand Priest imagined he was. Goku would then open a dimensional portal, pulling him and Janemba through the portal. As Janemba would then look around, he would then try to open up his own dimensional rift to go through, but Goku would forcibly stop him. And Janemba would state, do you know what you've done? Now I'm trapped in here with you. Now? No. You're trapped in here with me now. Once when I kill you, as he says, wait a minute. You opened up that portal? As Goku says, yeah, I did. I've always been able to do this ability where I can go through different dimensions. Janemba would then laugh, and laughing hysterically. This is incredible. He states, is it true? Did I finally meet my rival? A being who can rival my power? And Goku says, well, what do you mean? And he would then look at him and say, oh, you mortal fool. You don't know the true story, don't you? And he says, true story of what? And he says, well, there is a being even above Zeno. A being so powerful that is stronger than Zeno and stronger than anything the universe has ever seen. There was a being known as Rhymus. As now, Rhymus was the original creator. He was above Zeno. He made Zeno as an enforcer. A being to basically make Zeno kind of the enforcer around the block. But Rhymus is the creator of all universes. And he was also revealed to be the most powerful being in the multiverse. Now, this means that the Omni King was countered as a being of more or less destruction. We've never seen Zeno create something. He's always destroyed, while Rhymus created. When Zeno and Rhymus met each other, and Rhymus made Zeno to cause destruction as well, as creation has to come first. Zeno wanted power, so they clashed. During their clashes, they made me. The darkness that was in Zeno, and during their clashes, were so strong that they were shaking everything, making new universes with their clashes, and them going back and forth. See, Janemba is a being of pure destruction, a being of pure evil. He grows stronger by destroying. While Goku, on the other hand, the power that he has is so extraordinary. Basically, Goku has the dimensional power of Rhymus to create. Goku hasn't destroyed dimensions. He hasn't destroyed things, while Janemba can. And he says, you are my counterpart. So I don't know why Rhymus chose you. Why in that infinite void of dimensions you were chosen, I don't know. But I will defeat you myself. Let's play our own game. Then, reality warps around them in this dimension, as they're creating more dimensions, using it to fight one another. Goku's own skills against Janemba's skills, good and evil, light and darkness fight. As then, Goku was getting overwhelmed, as even though he's in his own dimension, the darkness in this golden dimension that Goku has is overwhelming him. As with his power, he is sinking the entire realms, the demon realm, everything. Everything is being destroyed. As then, Goku was surrounded by darkness, only in a very small sphere of light, as he was slowly being snuffed out, like a candle with no oxygen, as Goku was doing everything he can to hold it back. Zeno was watching with a grim face, as he could do something, but he wants to see what happens. As then, Goku would then go unconscious in the small light, as it was a small speck of dust in pure darkness, an infinite void of darkness. Goku's this small little light. Goku would then awaken his eyes to see Rhymus right in front of him. He didn't say anything. Or did he? Goku says, "What are you? Who are you?" And Rhymus says, "You're still holding back? You can win, you know." And he says, I can't. It's too much darkness. How can I do it? And he tells him, "You know you can beat him. This is your world, not his. You can create a way to defeat him. You know you can. Defeat him with light." And Goku does just that. Goku would then transform using his dimension of light to give him power. Now he has become a being of pure light. AKA, originally going back to the original, that Goku's the light and the darkness, he is truth. And that is what he is. He is now a divine being of light, the god of light. As his power was so strong that he was able to reverse the darkness effect around him, and Janemba was blown away with his power, Goku would then harness all the power that he has into one strike, flying forward and clashing with Janemba. He was able to fly right through him and destroy Janemba in a final explosion. Goku, with the remaining power that he has, he would then use it to fix all the dimensions, fix everything, reverse anything that happened. Once when this happened, he would then go unconscious, and he would then awaken on Zeno's planet. As when Goku's greeted by all of his friends who celebrate, Goku can't use the power anymore. He used that power of light. Rhymus gave it to Goku. He chose him to defeat Janemba because Goku was so pure of heart. That's the whole reason why. A being truly pure of heart can only defeat Janemba, who is righteous. That is why he chose Goku since the beginning, to give that power to him, the power of light, to defeat Janemba. Now that Goku has fulfilled his destiny and killed Janemba fully, the power is now gone. It's back to the universe where it belongs, in the dimensions. And that is it for this What If, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the super long What If part, as I did kind of lack on the last one because I was a little sick because of pollen issues. But I hope you guys enjoy the custom timeline and the custom what if story with Janemba the God Butcher. But anyway, thank you all so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Let's get to 50,000 subscribers, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Peace.